Okay guys, so let's see what's happening with gold quickly. Let's quickly go back to the weekly at the moment. That's the most relevant time frame at the moment for top-down analysis because the new month has not been started just yet. So we still do have another week left before we start doing a top-down from monthly perspective, basically. Just start this as well. Okay, good stuff. All right, my MetaTrader 5 is ready as well. Okay, so let's quickly go down to the weekly, right? Let's look at the bigger picture. So like, you know, recently we've done our analysis, so we do understand what the bigger picture is on gold at the moment. So we're not going to go into it too much, but we understand that at the moment we are in an uptrend, right? We've created those new highs, so we can understand previously when gold started to trend up, these were the highs that were created. Now at this point now, we've actually violated these structure highs and we formed a new high at this point now. So let's also mark the new high as well, and let's understand what's happening, right? So look, from here, we go understand. We've been in an uptrend. We're going to keep it very simple and short. We're not going to go into it too much, right? We've been in an uptrend. We're forming higher highs and higher lows. So wavy structure, we understand this is how market is. Like, this is how market moves, right? In an uptrend. It needs to form those highs. It needs to form those lows. It needs to come break those lows, grab liquidity, retest, and then basically start pushing up. So at this point, we understand how price moves as well in a sustainable way. So now, which is very sustainable up to this point, right? And then we can expect anything after this to be, you know, not sustainable whatsoever, because unsustainable after this, you can see massive explosive push up. So you know, when something like this happen in the market, it needs to be corrected, right? So at this point now, you go understand where did that explosive move start from. So let's mark this area over here. We can understand first retest of this area, price came all the way back up. Second retest, third retest, came back up again, kind of like forming a resistance over here. This was our double top, right? We understand how double top is a very strong formation, very strong thing that we actually look for ourselves now. So after forming a double top, we actually came down and done a second retest at this point now, forming another support here, and then at this point now explosively breaking out of this range. So we understand that this area was the area where we pretty much kind of like, you know, had some sort of issue, and then after that it was just clean traffic to the top side. So let's kind of like figure out what this area is now. So the lows of this area, the structure lows are potentially at 60, right? So let's just quickly mark the structure lows as well. So until the structure lows have been violated, we haven't broken the lows of the uptrend on the higher time frames, right? So this move down here, you can see is the wavy sort of structure, right? You're forming up your highs, you're forming up your lows. If I can just quickly mark that as well. So this is your highs. Let's quickly mark out all the higher highs, right? And then we can start marking out our higher lows as well. Okay. We understand that this is our first high. At this point now, let's see what was the low that was formed. Okay, at this point now, we came all the way down to literally 65, and then from there we pushed all the way back up. This was a attempt to kind of like retest the highs, but at this point now, there was so much momentum to the downside, we actually failed to come all the way to the top side of the resistance, and then eventually we could have broken the top side of the resistance and come all the way to the structure highs to potentially like form another double top. But at this point now, we understand the whole move up was not sustainable whatsoever. So price had a lot of momentum to the downside. This is where sellers took control, and at this point now we started to form higher highs and higher lows. So we can understand this was our first higher high. At this point now, let's see what's happened, right? So this became our second higher high. At this point now, look, these were our lows, right? Let's just quickly mark our lows. So this was our first low. At this point now, let's see what's happened, right? Did we form a new high low at this point now? I don't see this as a higher low. This I see as a fake out. Look, what's happened is price, even though we broke the structure lows at this point now, you can see price actually did not close below at this point now. What's happened is the next candle actually kind of ended up faking this previous candle out, right? It pushed all the way back up before actually breaking the lows. So at this point now, this becomes a fake out. So I do not consider this a new higher low. So at this point now, let's go back up again. So let's see. Okay, price came up again here. At this point, look how many times we've had this area being touched. 1, 2, 3, 4 times at this point now. This becomes a very, very strong area at this point now, very strong resistance area. We understand that buyers have been holding this. This is kind of like top side of our range at this point now. So this is the range that we're trading within, right? So at this point now, look, we ended up forming a new low as well. So this became our new low and this became our new higher high at this point now. So we understand that until we actually don't violate any sort of higher highs within this structure, we are within the downtrend, right? So even though on the bigger picture we are in an uptrend from top to down, let's see what we are doing now. So this is our next higher high at this point now. This became our high low at this point, right? Let's quickly mark as well. But this became a lower high or swing low. Let's quickly mark that as a swing low. And then at this point now, let's see if we formed a new swing high. Okay, second attempt to kind of like retest the same structure. But at this point now, look, as soon as price came up to this resistance, massive rejection. So we actually failed to break on top of the structure, still respecting the structure. At this point now, forming another swing high and then coming all the way down to forming a new swing low at this point now. So this became our new swing low at this point now, still respecting the lows. So we understand the structure lows are all the way down there. So until we actually violate these lows, which are S69, we have not broken the uptrend structure on the higher time frame, right? So let's see what's happened now. As soon as we've retested this structure, what happened? Okay, cool. We came down to retest this level here, and then we got massive pushback up to these highs, and then after that again forming a double bottom over here, and then we got explosive break to the top side. So let's see what's happened now. As soon as you got explosive break to the top side, price came all the way back to the top side of the range. We understand that this is the top side of the range. This has been retested numerous times, right? One retest there, this was some sort of like support here, many rejections here. So we can understand that this area has been holding for a long time, right? And then we understand that this was the structure highs. This is where we started to form the lows from, right? So this was our swing high right there. So we do understand that until we actually start to break this structure over here, we haven't formed a new high, and we have not formed a new low at this point as well. So now we need to understand what sort of range are we in. So at this point now, after retesting this massive momentum to the downside, price came all the way down here, and then we started to kind of like consolidate within this zone at this point, right? So this became the highs and this became the lows of this consolidation zone. So let's see what happened when we broke out of this consolidation, second retest of these areas. At this point again, price failed to break the lows, which are all the way down there, massive rejection to the top side. We understand that buyers are sitting up here, and then obviously as soon as we retest this area, buyers take control and drive the price all the way back up again. So again, we came back to the top side of the range, and at this point we understand again sustainable price action. Something like this was very explosive. It needs to be corrected back. So this was your correction. Price came all the way down. At this point now, kind of like retesting this structure that we have right here. As you guys can see, this is a support area, looking to the left, resistance area as well. At this point now, you can understand, cool, price came all the way down, breaking these lows over here, potentially grabbing liquidity as well. And at this point now, where do we have our target for the weekly? So the first target for the weekly potentially will be 28, but I can see that breaking as well. 35, as soon as we start breaking 35, we have a lot of liquidity over here as well. I think we can get a very explosive move up to potentially 55. That could be the weekly target. But again, we got to understand one thing: this weekly candle does not have that bottom wick, so it needs to create that bottom wick, right? So let's see how much has it pushed so far as well. It's pushed about 126 pips, and we understand that normally gold can push about 200 pips in one direction. So let's see what sort of areas we're retesting at this point now as well. So let's mark this area. Can we see to the left? Yeah, we do have a test over here. So guys, on the higher time frames, and like, you know, when you look at this with like, you know, the top down analysis from weekly, we understand that we are very bullish on gold, right? And we understand that this kind of like became that range at this point now, and we've started to form higher highs and higher lows. So at this point now, look, this was your low, and then this became your high, and then this became your second low. So this became your swing low, right? But understand this low is above the previous low. So at this point now, we've started to form higher highs and higher lows. So at this point now, what can we expect? We can expect price to go all the way back up to retest this structure over here, which is the highs of this range. So at this point now, this was our previous target, right? Remember, our previous target was actually these highs over here, which was about potentially 1800 to 1801, and then that target got smashed, and price came all the way to the top side of this range, and then from there we got some sort of retracement back, right? We understand that's what previously the weekly candles done? All of the daily candles done the same thing. They came up, formed a new high, and then at that point, the next one rejected. Formed a new high, next one rejected. Formed a new high, the next one rejected. So now at this point now, looking at the daily candle, right? Let's see what the daily candle looks like. We do have a tiny bit of a bottom wick, but looking at the candle before that as well, the wick was very, very tiny. So at this point now, I feel like today might be one of them days we might just see gold dropping. We might just see a very nice drop on gold at this point, because the bottom wicks are they are not sustainable whatsoever. You got to understand, gold needs to come down, do a deeper retest. This is the start of the week as well, so it needs to also form a bottom wick on the weekly candle as well. So to be honest, for me, I would not be interested in looking for buys whatsoever today. So it will be the same thing as Friday, because remember what happened on Friday, right? We were looking for these short positions and then they played us so nicely. Honestly, the sort of drop we had was so nice, even though it was not during our session, but our analysis were on point. The drop was massive drop. So something like that today you guys will see again. I'll be very patient. I'll just be waiting for my setup. I'll be looking to see what sort of areas we can reject from. Looking at this now, right? What sort of areas are we approaching on gold? Let's just see. Quickly going back to the weekly time frame, we can see that we're starting to tap into some sort of area over here, right? This was a support area here, and then we do have another retest here, so looking to the left, we can see that this is some sort of strong area which does hold usually it does hold, right? And then after that, let's say if we do start clearing this area, where can we find the next area? Now looking at that, we can see there's another support area here, another rejection from this area, and the numerous resistance levels over here as well. So that could be our next target from pretty much from 1802 to 1810. If we can start seeing some sort of nice rejections within these levels, I'll be really interested in taking gold down. We do have another 2 minutes left as well at this point now, so let's quickly go down on 4 hour and see what the bigger picture looks like. Okay. Oh wow, look at this candle. Yeah, that was the candle we kind of called out, right? So yeah, you got to understand, previously it dropped so much, so it kind of has to correct the move down as well. But look at these candles, right? Compared to this one massive bearish candle, you're just seeing some nice tiny bullish candles printing out. At this point, this becomes your pullback and your correction at this point, right? So I think as soon as we start tapping this resistance area 1805, we're going to see the massive dump on gold. But I would not be interested in looking for any sort of bias today, though. I'm looking for those short positions. Going to go in with 2 positions, low risk, 0.5% risk per position, because I want to start off my week with some sort of profits, and then we can start upping our risk later on. So I'll even change my risk right now to 0.5%. Allow this, allow that, because we do close partials. We're just going to see this. Okay, that's great. Let's change that to 10. Just in case. Okay, great, everything's good to go. Let's quickly go down to the lower time frames as well at this point now. Let's see what sort of structure we have. Man, honestly, we're starting to tap into this area now. This area is very strong, very strong area. So if we can start forming some sort of double top around here, and then from there just start dumping, I can really see us dropping, honestly, like correcting this whole candle. Okay, let's quickly check the 1 minute time frame at this point now. Let's see what sort of structure we have. At this point, we can see it's actually been very choppy, right? Very choppy. So 25th. What did we do during London, by the way? I think we corrected that move from Friday, right? That's what we done. It was correction, was it not? Yeah, so London was pretty much just all correction. So this is the highest that we formed. And then at this point now, we've had our pullback as well. So it is moving in a wavy sort of structure, right? So this kind of becomes your top side of this structure at the moment on the 30 minutes time frame. So I just quickly want to mark the top side, because we do have some sort of liquidity on the top side as well. And all highs are pretty much here. So we do still have some more room to go up at this point, I can see, because look at this candle over here as well. Very bearish candle, right? This was 100 pips as well, this candle. That's the thing. So at the moment, the correction has been pretty much about 50% mark, right? So if we do start holding this area, I think then at that point we can take it down. Otherwise, the correction might be nice. The entire 1805 area has been bunch of rejections on the one over to the left. Yes, sir. That's right. That's right. But honestly, the thing is, right, guys, this area, let's see how this area holds at this point, because this is our session and we're starting to see a lot of momentum to the top side as well. But I really want to do wait for a little bit, because I want to see how we break, and then if we can get some sort of pullbacks to this area, kind of like start forming higher highs at this point. Now I do understand that we do have a clean range to the top side and we can execute, because look at this point, right, the previous weekly has rejected from this level up here, so we do understand that previous weekly was able to go up to 1812. So if we do start forming higher highs and higher lows at this point, I'll be looking to take it back to at least 1812 as well, and then from there we can expect those rejections, right? But first I want to see some sort of structure being formed over here. Our session has just started now, so yeah, there is no FOMO whatsoever. Been quite choppy, to be honest. Very rangy. 1 o'clock's not done much either. It's just been ranging. At this point now, you're starting to break out of the range, and you do understand that there is liquidity on the top side here as well. So we do have liquidity as well at this point now, starting to break the structure. Let's see what happens. Looking at the minute time frames, starting to clear out this resistance area over here, starting to form higher highs and higher lows. Let's see. If we, let's say, let me show you guys, in order for me to execute on a buy position, I want to see like at least like 1 or 2 tiny bearish candles, right? And then one massive bullish candle after that. At that point, it shows me that, look, at this point now, we formed a new high and we got liquidity as well. But again, at this point, buyers are still in control after doing that pullback. At that point, I'll take it up with confidence. But right now, I do not have any sort of confirmations. Yes, I do understand it's a very volatile session. It may very well just go up without giving us some sort of pullback. But again, guys, we're looking to execute on 1 to 2 trades per day. So we're looking to execute on the highest probability setup. And for me, those pullbacks are essential. I want to see 1 or 2 tiny bearish candles. And at that point, we can take it back up. Other than that, I have no FOMO whatsoever. Because look at the daily candle. If you can see this candle, look at the bottom wick, look at the weekly candle, look at the bottom wick, we are bound to crash. So yeah, I really don't care. Even if we do miss the move to the top side, we are bound to crash eventually, basically. So just gonna wait and see what price gives us. Oh, hold on a second. Bro, you still have a position on gold? What's his is it, bro, is your name Zender? Is that how you pronounce your name? Xander? You still have a position on gold? Yeah? Are you in buys or sells?
I wasn't biased before that entire 1 hour flip, but once I saw it flip and I just secured at 10 pips, and that's that.
Okay.
I was just looking at the 4 hour and I didn't really like the structure of it. And like you said, this weekly still doesn't really have a bottom wick, so I'm not trusting that. Because if gold wants to continue and tap into that 1830s level, I really think we need a good liquidity grab.
Yes, sir.
And we really haven't gotten that right now yet. So
yes, sir.
I'm just waiting on this new 4 hour to form. These last 30 minutes are going to be a bit volatile. So
yes, sir.
We'll see how that closes.
I mean, to be honest, like this move, this whole leg up, it just seems like it's literally just the correction from that move we had on Friday. So at this point, or let's say if you are trying to catch the leg up, right, you can understand that this area over here is some sort of area of interest. You can see numerous rejections. So at this point, it becomes a little bit tricky to trade this price action to the top side, right? Like you can understand that, cool, price might wants to form a new high, but again, another 26 pips away, you can start seeing those rejections to the downside. So it becomes a little bit tricky. And at this point, look, if we start to break this structure lows at this point, now look, you're starting to see the momentum kick in as well. So let's kind of start marking our structure on the lower time frames, right? look, numerous rejections over here. One rejection there, second rejection there, and then we had the third rejection over here, and then this is where we got the explosive move to the top side from, right? So this becomes our low at this point now. This is our swing low at this point now, and this became our swing high. So within this, anything to the downside seems like a pullback, right? So at this point now, look, again, as I said, if I see something like this, I see 2, 3 tiny bearish candles, nothing which is like, you know, showing me that sellers are in control now, so no engulfing bearish candles, and then you see one massive candle to the top side, engulfing bullish candle. At that point, you can most definitely take it back up. We just have to wait and have patience, because look, at this point now, you could have executed on a buy here on the break of this structure, but you're not going to catch much, were you? Just 10 pips to the top side is nothing whatsoever. So we're looking to cash in on those 100 pips moves, guys. That's the thing, right? So let's see what happens, man. We do have a resistance area over here as well, so we did get some sort of reaction around this area. So what happens? Let's see what happens. We've broken the highs of the previous 4 hours as well, so the next area is pretty much up here at this point. And you can see where price is rejecting from, there is a resistance area right here as well to the left. Keep that in your mind as well. And then there is a lot of volatility around this session at this point. So if we start to form new higher lows, lower lows at this point now with a lot of momentum to the downside, I'll definitely look to take it down. But right now we have to be super careful because a lot of rejections from this area, right? But again, guys, if I was to take a sniper entry right now, which I'm not interested in at the moment because it is a Monday, right? Start of the week, so I want to be a bit more patient and I want to wait for those confirmations. But let's say if this was now a Thursday or something like that, and you see massive momentum to the downside at this point now, you're expecting the volatility to kind of like break all these lows, right? Because these lows have been formed on a lower time frame, lower structure. But again, you're starting to tap into this key area now, and this is kind of becoming your pullback. So let's see how it plays out. Let's really see how it plays out. Yeah, the daily is honestly bound to crash. Is bound to crash. Sooner or later is bound to crash. And one thing about gold is, guys, if you're kind of like aiming for the 1-to-1s, you have to understand when it drops or when it goes up, it will easily give you about 50 pips minimum, right? Before starting to reject again. So your 1-to-1s can very easily be secured if your stop loss is at about 20 pips at average, right? Our stop loss is about 20 pips at average. So our 1-to-1s can very easily be secured. So we don't always have to get entry from the top side. If some days we have to wait for those extra bit of confirmations, we're more than willing to do that. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do today. Wait for that extra bit of confirmation. And then as soon as I have that, I'll execute. Look at the way this 30-minute is starting to reject as well after grabbing liquidity. Man, there is so much liquidity up here as well, honestly. And I don't see any sort of liquidity on the higher time frames. That's the thing. I can honestly see us like breaking below 59, coming all the way down to potentially 57. If we do start breaking 45, at that point we are grabbing a lot of liquidity, man, a lot of liquidity. And looking at the weekly as well, that's still not the lows of the range. So at this point, even if we were to break 45 and grab liquidity here, we're still respecting the lows. And at that point, we can form a new high. I mean, new swing low, right? And it's going to be higher than the previous swing low at that point. So you're still within the uptrend structure. Okay, let's look at the 1 minute time frame at this point now. We're starting to form another high at this point. Let's see if we can form a double top here. Are we going to see a massive rejection from the top side here, forming a double top, or are buyers still in control? Let's see. Let's see. So it will be our second retest of this area at this point now. Okay. two things are going to happen now. The next 1 minute candle will fake the previous candle out, or we're going to start forming new higher highs at this point now. And then at this point now, this becomes your pullback, right? Look, you're starting to form higher highs and higher lows. At this point now, if you see volatility to the top side, and if we can take a decent position to the top side, with the right risk to reward, I'll be more than happy to execute on it, but still have to wait right now. We haven't cleared this area. We understand what gold likes to do. It's very volatile, right? So those pullbacks are massive as well. So I really want to see how we play around this area over here. $18.04. Let's see how $18.04 is. I mean, I can honestly see us at least breaking 91 today though. We do have some liquidity to the downside over there, and it depends how explosive it is, because right now we are correcting this move from Friday, so we do have some more space to the top side, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Does price want to come all the way to the top side first and then after rejects? So let's see, because right now we do have volatility, guys. So if we see momentum to the top side, let's take it up. So at this point now, let's see if we get some sort of nice closes above this area over here. I'm just going to get my magic keys ready as well. So my stop loss will be pretty much about 25 pips right now, but still do want to see a nice break on top, retest, and then another explosive candle. At that point, I can turn 18.04 to 18.03 into my stop loss area. Right now, I'm not interested in this whatsoever. Let's see how price plays around this area, right? So this is like the lows of the range at this point as well. All the way down here. From here, we can see we did get explosive move to the top side and formed a new high from these lows over here. And then after that, we started to consolidate. And then this was where we formed a second high from, right? So 1801 to 18100. And then after that, we should be good to go down, honestly. So at this point now, 1801 should be respected in order for us to form a new high. If we do start breaking below 1801, at that point I'll really be interested in looking for those sells. Until then, I want to be super careful, because usually gold has been very choppy recently. It's been very choppy. We've seen those consolidations. I want to be extra careful. I want to have my confirmations. I want to be sure that we've broken out of that range. At that point, I'll execute. Until then, I'm just sitting on my hands. This is my ideal bearish scenario. Let's see what you're looking for. Loss of bullish momentum. If 4 hour can close bearish and create a solid resistance, I will start looking for sales. Best sell for me would be the new 4 hour. Yeah. With the new 4 hour opening, we're gonna see a lot of momentum to the top, to the downside or the top side. That's the thing, which is in another 15 minutes as well. But this is also the new 15-minute open now. We can also see some momentum kicking now. But more than definitely, you can see that. That's usually when we start to see our setups as well. If it's not straight away, so usually one thing happens, right? You get the explosive move to the top side as soon as you get the open, and then after the 4 hour opening, that's when you start seeing that drop, if you are expecting a drop. So yeah, at this point now, look, again, another rejection from this area at this point now. Even though the rejection was not very explosive, we do understand that this area is holding. But at the moment, I'm not seeing a lot of bearish momentum kicking in from this area. So I'll have to be really careful if I do want to execute on any sort of sell position from here, right? Because I usually like to take those sell positions from something like this. So you see, as soon as we tapped this area right here, you got those explosive rejections to the downside. This candle just engulfed everything to the left. Over here, you haven't seen one massive bearish candle engulfing everything to the left, right? If you see something like that and over here you're forming that double top, oh boy, I think we can take it down. So now let's say if this candle can start engulfing everything to the left at this point now, I think sales might be looking good. Might just execute on one sell position over here, but let's see again. Let's see. I want to see a nice engulfing bearish candle, kind of like breaking these lows at this point now. Some sort of pullback, we can take it down. But again, guys, I don't want to get caught in a consolidation if gold is being choppy again. So let's just wait and sit on our hands. Yeah, guys, I'll make the lines white, but right now I just want to keep them red because every different color means something for me. That's the thing. So white color means something, red color means something, yellow color means something. So yellow is the key area, white is the rejections, and then red is my zone on a low time frame. So that's why I have different colors. But yeah, I'll change it later. But the zones I have marked right now are 1804 to pretty much 1800, right? Within this range. That's what I've got marked right now. True. We saw something like this play out on a Friday as well, so I'm really not tempted to take these sales at the moment because I know what gold does. As soon as you're going to see that volatility is going to clear those highs, kind of like form another new high, and then at that point just start dumping. So I want to be extra careful right now. But let's just mark up when our session started, so we know that so far what's happened during our session. So 1:30, that's when our session started. Okay, so this is kind of when our session started, right? Just retested this support area, rejection, and a massive candle to the top side at this point now. Yeah, this would not have worked out either, the 1-to-1. So yeah, that was a great decision to just let this go. And at this point now, we've been within this range, have formed a higher high at this point now. This was the low that we created when our session started, and then this is the second low at this point now. We're having some sort of trouble around this area, so this kind of becomes our range right now for our session. So also mark out when our session ends. So we have plenty of time, as you guys can see, so there should be no FOMO whatsoever. We know that this session is very volatile, so eventually we will go somewhere, right? At the moment, we've not done nothing whatsoever. This is all we've done, pushed up 30 pips, and pretty much right now we're back to literally like the 50% mark. So we've done nothing so far, guys. So no one should have any sort of FOMO. There are no moves right now, and we understand that when we do get that move, it will be 100 pips either to the top side or 100 pips to the downside. As you can see, the daily candle has not even moved 200 pips in one direction, so it can literally move either way. So there should be no FOMO whatsoever. No FOMO whatsoever. Got another 11 minutes left for the new 4-hour open as well. At that point, we're going to see more volume kick in, and hopefully we can see more momentum to the downside at that point, and then we can look to execute on those sells. Look at that. At this point now, we're forming a new low, but this low is higher than the previous low. So let's see at this point if we can start engulfing the whole structure to the left. We are respecting this support area at this point now as well. Oh, this candle is looking good to the top side at this point, honestly. But I would want to see a nice breakout of this range pullback at that point, another confirmation to the top side. Because right now it's very tricky for me to take it back up. Because the top side, literally we have 1805. Previously we have rejected from it numerous times. Look at that. It's a resistance level on 4-hour, many rejections to the left as well. You can even see retest all the way down to this level, and then you got massive explosive push to the top side. So this is definitely our area of interest that we do want to look out for. And until you actually start breaking below these lows or above these highs, and then you see those pullbacks and then another nice candle in the same direction, until then we're just within this consolidation and we just have to sit on our hands. We do understand that obviously we have different sort of market conditions, right? One market condition is consolidation. Within consolidation, price goes to the top side of the range and then it comes all the way to the downside of the range. That's when you usually have a lot of buying orders being executed, so you're going to see a massive candle to the top side. It does look like, oh, we're about to break out of the range, but as soon as you see us arriving all the way to the top side of the range, you're going to see a lot of sells being executed, and then again you're going to lose the momentum to the top side and you're going to see more momentum to the downside. So when you have something like this going on, you just want to sit on your hands and then just let price kind of give you your confirmations that you're looking for, right? So it depends what sort of market you're on. Every market has different sort of confirmations that you're looking for, right? With this sort of market, I want to see something which is a nice breakout of this with momentum, some sort of pullback. At that point, again, I want to see momentum in the same direction, and then I'll look to execute. Until then, we're just ranging. I'm not looking to take any positions within this range. I want to see a nice break to the top side or the downside for me to execute. Also, guys, it is a game of probability, right? Look, it started to form. This is our new low now. Let's say at this point now we start breaking below 1802, right? And then you see some sort of retest and then another nice explosive candle to the downside. At that point, probability of price going down is obviously a lot higher than probability of price coming back up, right? And as soon as we start clearing 1801, at that point our probability goes up even more. So we really just have to play the game of probability and sit on our hands. Okay, at this point now, look, every time we have approached this area, you can see numerous bearish candles, right? So at this point now, all we saw was one nice bearish candle. It kind of did like some sort of retest of 1803. And then at this point now, if it starts engulfing everything to the left, this candle here, I think we might see some more momentum to the top side. And the new 4-hour is opening in the next 7 minutes as well. Let's see if we get some sort of nice momentum kick in now. At that point, we can maybe execute on something. Until then, if not, let's say we have 4 minutes left. At that point, we just have to let it go because the new 4-hour will create that bottom wick and then we can easily get wicked out. So you want to be super careful for that as well. See that as soon as this candle opened, just a lot of momentum to the downside as well. And this is not something which I look for, this candle here. This candle is literally just pushed up 5 pips. This is a very volatile session. It does not show me anything, honestly. Do you want to look out for 1809 as well? Literally 1808 to 1809. Okay, let's see how this candle plays out at this point now. Let's see how this candle closes, honestly. Let's really see how it closes. Because might be able to execute on something if it is an engulfing bearish candle, tight stop loss, kind of like aiming for that 1-to-1. But right now you want to see a nice close retest, and then at that point you can execute on something like this, expecting this area to get cleared and price to come all the way to the top side. Because I think if we start clearing 1805, we're coming to the top side, because it will come up to retest a daily area rather than a 4-hour area. That I know for sure. But if we do start holding this area at this point now, and then the new 4-hour opens, at that point we can definitely see something like this playing out. Stop loss is above the structure, wherever the structure is up here, and kind of like taking it all the way downtown. But let's see what happens. Just have to wait for those confirmations. Another massive rejection to the downside over here. Another massive rejection right now. This area is still holding, still within this range. Look, again, attempted to break out of this range, got close above this resistance at this point. Now next candle created a new high, and then you got a massive rejection to the downside again. This is a very, very nice rejection as well. This rejection over here, very nice rejection. Honestly, I would like to see some sort of double top form here with the new 4 hour opening, and then those massive rejections to the downside, massive bearish candles. At that point, we can really take it down with the new 4 hour opening. Let's see what happens though. Let's definitely look out for this area over here from at this point. If we start breaking these lows, at that point, this is not a pullback. Until then, this is just a pullback because you formed a new high at this point now. So just keep that in your mind, guys. This is just a pullback until then. But yeah, we're gonna see something very nice on gold today, because look, this is literally when our session started, half one. We've just been within this consolidation, and we understand that gold moves literally 200 pips to one side, so we can see a very explosive move to one side at this point now. I think either 100 pips to the top side or the downside. But for me to catch anything to the top side, I want to see momentum kick in with the new 4 hour open. Until then, I'm really interested in those sells. Hey, sounds good, Xander. Sounds good, my bro. Thank you for joining, and yeah, catch up with you later, bro. Oh, there we go. Starting to see momentum to the downside at this point now. Wow, look at this rejection as well. Ooh. Okay, if the new 4 hour can open and give us that upper wick and then start rejecting from here, ooh, I think we can take it down at this point. Ooh, this candle is really, really beautiful. Look at this candle. Wow, wow, this is beautiful. Let's see how we react around this area though. If we can kind of like close below 1802, and then with the new 4 hour open, kind of like come here to create the upper wick and then more momentum to the downside, it will be really interested to see if we can get something like that play now. But still, we are within this consolidation, guys. Look at the lows and look at the highs, right? Until then, just want to wait. Got another minute left for the new 4 hour. So let's see how it opens. Guys, you want to keep trading very simple. You don't want to make it complicated for yourself. Have your bias. So like, what are the bias that we have today? Our bias is like, obviously we're looking for those sells today, right? Even though we are bullish on a higher time frame, we understand that obviously we are scalpers, like, you know, we turn our scalps into intraday trades. So we have to understand what can the daily candle do during our session. So at that point, we're looking to kind of like cash in on that move, whatever the daily candle is going to do during our session. We don't care about what the weekly candle is doing, because we're looking to take a quick trade 1-to-1. At that point, secure 80% or 70% of our position, and then let the runner do some damage, right? So that's why you just have to look at the lower time frames right now. What are the lower time frames showing you? Look, right now we're within this consolidation. Oh, someone executed. Someone's a cowboy today. Who's executed within this consolidation? I heard the magic keys.
It's not me. You'll be happy to know.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, remember, Ange, we did backtest our session on Friday as well. We know that obviously we need to wait for our confirmation, and as soon as we get our confirmation, we're on point. We're gonna see the confirmation and we're gonna execute it, right? Okay, look, at this point now, this candle here had a rejection. This was our first rejection. At this point now, we understand that from here we did form a new high as well, right? So let's see if this area holds, or are we going to start breaking below this area, kind of like start to engulf this area. We do understand that this area did hold previously. From this area we did form the new high from, right? So this can kind of like be your turning point to kind of like go back and retest those highs again. So you have to be super careful around this area, right? This area is also a key area as well. This is on higher time frames. Very strong area. So we just have to wait. This is the new 4 hour open at this point now. Let's see how it plays out. Going to quickly go and see the wicks on the 4 hour. Okay, at this point now we do have the upper wick as well as the bottom wick. So let's see which way we see the momentum now. Either to the top side or the downside, but we do have the wicks. We do have the wicks, I repeat. Okay, wow. I want to see a nice engulfing bearish candle at this point, honestly. Like we have started to form like new lows at this point now. Look, this low is about to get violated as well. Honestly, if we start breaking like 1801, if we can engulf this whole area, kind of like see a pullback at that point as well, then you'll be interested, right? We can most definitely take it down. But until then, we just have to wait and see how this area plays out. Because you gotta understand, guys, gold is very volatile. As soon as you get that move, it's going to be a very massive move, right? So there is no FOMO whatsoever. Just wait for this consolidation to break. Be a professional trader. Have your emotions in control. You should not be trading with emotions. Like, you should only trade what you see, and you should be reactive rather than, like, you know, you shouldn't predict the markets. You should react to the markets. Right now, if we were to execute on a trade, yeah, we are seeing new low lows being formed, but look again, this area is holding. So at the moment we have to react. We want to see a nice close out of it, nice break and close below this area, a retest, another bearish candle. At that point we can react, but right now we'll be predicting, right? So yeah, there we go. See, at this point now we're starting to see some nice break to the downside. This is very nice momentum with the 4 hour candle. Let's see how this candle opens. The next 1 minute candle, how it opens. Are we gonna see a rejection from the downside, or we're going to see more momentum to the downside? And at that point I'll execute on something like this, kind of like keeping the stop losses above this. And at this point now, with momentum, expecting price to push all the way to the downside. Okay, let's see now. We've broken out of this range, tiny bit of a rejection from the downside. So I want this candle to pull up a little bit more, and then the next candle, I want the next candle to engulf this candle. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm not looking for any sort of entries on this candle. I want to see how this candle closes, and then the next candle kind of like start breaking the lows, right? Start engulfing these lows. At that point we can look to take it down. But let's see, I want to see this candle kind of come up to the resistance and see a massive rejection to the downside. And yeah, let's see if we can execute on something here, guys, because this can be the turning point, as we can see, right? This area still is holding. This can be the turning point, so we want to be super careful right now. This is your new 4 hour open as well. It has the upper wick as well as the bottom wick at this point now. So it's going to go in either direction, right? And we're going to cash in. Okay, at this point now, you have a nice upper wick on this candle as well. So you don't want this to engulf anything to the left, right? You just want to see massive rejections. And now the new candle that's opening, you want to see it start breaking all lows at this point now. But again, look at this. When our session started, this is when we formed a new high from. So until we break these lows over here, let me just quickly show you literally where the lows are. This is our 130. Literally, these are the lows that we created for our session, right? So until then, we are still within the high sort of structure until we actually break these lows over here. So you have to be very careful if you want to execute on a sell position within this consolidation, because technically we are still within an uptrend, right? So now you're starting to see a lot of momentum to the top side as well. So let's see if we can see those explosive rejections at this point now. Nice bearish candle at this point. Nice bearish candle.
And just a little bit. Go lay down for about till 8 o'clock. Go lay down till 8 o'clock. Till 8:30.
Who's whispering?
Lay down. 8:30. Okay.
Who's whispering?
If you turn it down. Do not wake up a lot. And I mean, the more you talk, you're gonna wake up.
Okay, at this point now.
I'm not gonna keep talking to you. I'm asking you, Barry.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, cool. At this point now, look, again, starting to form new lows at this point. Look at that. This was the first area where we did form a new low from. So let's quickly just see what happens around this area at this point. Let's see. Let's look at the structure. From here, we got the new low from. At this point now, we kind of are attempting to retest this. We did actually retest this. From here, we came all the way down to 1802. And then after that, this was the retest. And then from there, we came all the way down to pretty much like 1802. Next one came up, and then from here we saw a lot of momentum kicking right here. Look at that, right? So let's see if we can form some sort of double top here then. Oh, guys, I am so ready to execute on this. So ready to execute on this. We can hear you. Yeah, whoever was whispering, we could hear you. It was kind of like ASMR, honestly. Started to feel sleepy after hearing that. But there we go. Again, momentum kicking to the top side, guys. Again, momentum kicking to the top side. That's why, guys, look, literally, we need to be professional traders. Have your emotions in control. Look, market has not gone anywhere whatsoever. And we know this is a very volatile session. Either way we see a break, you're going to see a very nice explosive move, right? So what's the rush? There should be no FOMO. Just wait for your confirmations and then we're going to execute. We haven't taken even one single trade yet. We're looking to take 1 to 2 trades today. So yeah, just wait for it. Just wait for it. No FOMO whatsoever. You got to understand, why do 90% of traders lose money? Because they cannot control their emotions. They have FOMO, they have greed, they have, you know, that's what kind of like activates that, you know, revenge trading phase. Trading because you want to make your money back. It should not be like that. Your mind should be clear. Just wait for your setup right now. Look, let's kind of like forget about, you know, looking for a trade. Let's just look at the charts. What can we see? Within this consolidation, we haven't gone anywhere just yet. So as soon as we start to break the lows, now what are the lows for our session at this point now? Look, the lows are all the way down here, 1801, and the highs are all the way up here, right? So either way we break is a game of probability. We're just gonna basically execute as soon as the probability is on our side. But right now, is the probability on our side? Okay, we are looking for those sells, obviously. We are starting to form new lows at this point now. This area is holding. Potentially can we form another nice low over here? Can momentum kick into the downside? Kind of like forming double top over here. At that point, look, if we start forming a double top here, kind of like engulfing everything to the left, again, probabilities will be on our side. But until we see something like that, we just have to wait. Honestly, just have to wait. And keep one thing in mind, you want to be extra careful. For me, the best setup will be kind of like, let me show you, if I can just draw this for you guys, what would be something that I'm looking for. Because look, gold moves a lot, it moves so much, right? So if we can see something like this, kind of like breaking the current daily lows, right, giving us the probability, having that retest, and then one massive engulfing bearish candle, and that could be our execution candle, kind of like taking it all the way down to the daily lows, right? And the daily lows are all the way down, so keep that in your mind as well. So you can very easily cash in on 100 pips to the downside. We just have to wait for your confirmations. This is literally just your new 4-hour open. You have your NYSE approaching in another 21 minutes as well, so you have a lot of time. Patience is the key, guys, when it comes to trading. Honestly, if you want to be successful in trading, have your session. Look what I've done. Literally, I've marked out my session. I know this is my session, start of my session, and this is the end of my session. So within this session, I can take a trade, right? But let's say now, if it was my session done, I would only be looking at the markets and kind of like going over my session. I would not be looking to execute on any more trades. But look at that. We're not even halfway through our session. Like literally, we have not even gone halfway through our session. We have so much time left. Just wait for it. Because you don't want to put your capital at risk if you don't see something that's a high probability setup, right? So just wait for it, guys. Have patience. Because trust me, I'm telling you from experience, I've also chased the markets in the past. Now what I do is I wait for price to come to my sort of area, right? In the past, I would kind of like chase after the price, and then at that point, oh, it's just very bad. You lose a lot of money. It kind of messes you up emotionally. It's very hard to recover from it. It's not even like the financial point that's hard to recover from. It's the psychology. It can really mess up your psychology. Trust me, guys, it's not about money in this game. If you can basically consistently even make 5% to 10% return on investment per month, the only thing you need to up is your capital. If you have $1 million, if you have $2 million, I know prop firms out there, they're funding you up to 2 million now. So all you need to do is just have your psychology on point, just become consistent. At that point, you have companies, you have so much opportunity now. So there is no rush, guys. At this point now, trading is even more simpler. Like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. All you need to do is become consistently profitable. How can you do that? Have your rules, stick to your rules, have those guidelines, and that's it. It's as simple as that. Right now, for me to take a sell right here, because I'm bearish for the day, Does it make sense? No, I still want to wait for those extra bit of confirmations. It's all about probability. I want at least 70% of probability on my side. Okay, you can have the 30% on your side, but I want at least 70% on my side, and then I'll execute with confidence. You're going to see me. As soon as I see the probability on my side, I'm executing with confidence. That's what trading is about. Until then, just wait. Just wait. Because look, at this point now, understand liquidity in the market as well. This is all retail traders. This is no big whales right now. As soon as a big fish kicks in, oh, you're gonna see those massive candles. Until then, this is just like retail traders. Like buyers are sitting here, sellers are sitting up here. So you might even see a liquidity grab at this point, or kind of like breaking those current lows, grabbing liquidity, and then massive explosive push to the top side. So you understand, where is liquidity at this point now? This can potentially be liquidity because this is a consolidation, right? We've been within this consolidation at this point now. So yeah, you want to be super careful. At this point now, you need to understand which way are we grabbing liquidity. So that's what I'm saying. If we can see a nice break below this, a retest, and then another confirmation that we want to go to the downside, that'll be the best setup to take, the highest probability setup for our session. And all you need is that one trade. And guys, we don't aim for no 5 to 10 pips. We aim for those big moves, explosive moves, 100 pips, potentially every day, if not every other day. But patience is what gives you that. There are two ways of catching that move: by taking 10 trades a day, or being patient and just catching that one nice trade. And if you catch that one nice trade, guess what? There are no losses, right? Everyone can catch 100 pips by taking millions of trades, right? But that's not the plan. We want to be profitable. So yeah, let's see what happens. Everyone watching on YouTube live stream, guys, do you have any sort of questions for us? Are you guys looking to execute on sells? Are you looking to execute on buys? What are you guys looking for? Let us know. Let us know. What are you guys looking for? What do you think gold is going to do today? In my opinion, I think we're going to see a nice dump. It really depends though, because look, at this point, again, it becomes a bit tricky, right? During our session, we want to see, are we going to see a push up, another leg up, kind of like grabbing liquidity, retesting one of the key areas, and then drop? That's what we're looking to see. But today, eventually, I do see gold dropping. But again, we need to see what our session will do, right? And then whatever our session gives us, that's what we're going to execute on. Look, at this point now, we did get a second rejection from here. But again, we're starting to come back up, kind of like making a support here. We've seen it in the past as well. As soon as we approach this area over here, we come all the way to the top side of the range. So yeah, we're kind of like repeating the same thing again. So we just really just have to wait. But again, now if we start to break out of this range, nice close retest, take it back up. Simple as that. Just have to wait for the range to break, because you do have some because at this point, honestly, if we break to the top side of the range, because the session is so volatile now, there's so much volatility in the session, NYSE is approaching in next 16 minutes. At that point, I'm expecting this resistance here to get cleared, because this is a 4-hour resistance, right? And then I'm expecting gold to come all the way to the top side, which is our daily zones. And then from there, we can see those massive rejections. So yeah, really just have to wait and see. Really just have to wait and see. Sell. Everyone says they're looking for sells. I'm also looking for sell DA. What is your lot size you trade with? So guys, I don't have a standard lot size that I trade with. It depends on my stop loss. So I use this device called Magic Keys over here. So I just input the risk. What I can do is I can just show you, right, how it works. So this is Magic Keys right here. Let me just quickly show you. So look, all I do is literally I go into inputs. You see right here, it lets me input the risk that I want to risk per trade, right? So at the moment, I want to risk about 0.5%, which is about $1,000, right? So I'm going to do that. Another thing I like to change is max trade ideas, because sometimes I might want to go in with partial positions, so it can really kind of like mess me up if I have obviously like this set at 3 or 2. So I'll change that at 10. This is the only thing I do. I input my risk at that point. Literally, now, let's say, let me show you one more thing, right? Let me just quickly bring up my Magic Keys. Show you my MetaTrader 5. That's the best thing about this stream as well, guys. We actually show you our MetaTrader 5, right? Let me show you one thing now. Okay, look. You see my MetaTrader 5, right? Look, let me show you one thing. At this point now, I've input 0.5% as risk, right? So this red line is my stop loss and this green line is my TP. So look, even if I was to move my stop loss here, it will still be 0.5% risk. Even if I was to move my stop loss all the way down there, at this point now, it will lower down my lot size, but my stop loss will still be 0.5% risk. So I don't have a standard lot, guys. It really depends on the structure. So at this point now, let's say I was trading here, I'll be trading based off this structure. Stop loss will go below this, right? At that point, my lot size might be bigger than if my stop loss was all the way down here, right? So I don't have any standard lot sizes. I just use magic keys, guys. It makes it very easy to execute. Very, very easy to execute. You need something like that when you're trading gold, because gold is so volatile, right? Every single second matters. Every single second matters. And literally look how many buttons there are. It says open trade, double trade. So like, you know, it's very quick. Let's say if you're on your phone, you're using the MetaTrader 5, you first have to enter the lot size, then you have to execute, then you have to go back, enter the stop loss, and then enter your TP. It's too long. This, literally all you need to do is press one button. You have your stop loss there. Everything's literally right in front of you. It's very easy. Like the execution becomes quick. That's why, guys, I do not have a standard lot size. A lot of people ask me that, but I don't have a standard lot size. It's just 0.5% risk on the trade. Let's say I'm looking to risk about 1% for the day today because it is a Monday. I don't want to risk too much. So I'm looking to risk about $2,000, which is about 1%. And yeah, that's it. Let's see what happens now. If we can execute 2 trades today, that will be the best case scenario. If only 1 trade shows up, whatever the market gives us, we're going to take it and call it a day. We're just going to be grateful, guys. See, when you go in with a mindset that you have 10 trades, you're going to start taking silly trades. So as soon as you stick to that 1 trade a day, you kind of like take everything out of the equation. Like, okay, now I don't have those 10 trades. I can't be silly anymore because there's only 1 trade. So I have to take the best trade because it has to be the highest probability setup. Otherwise, I'm taken out for the day, right? I don't want to be taken out of the day just yet because I don't see my confirmations. That's the thing, right, guys? It's a game of psychology. You gotta understand. Once your psychology is on point, you can achieve success. Even look at Raja, right? Like, look at Raja. The guy lost like over $100,000, even a bit more. It was all his savings. And look at the guy now. He's literally flipped it into millions, right? So again, the way the Raja trades now, look, as retail traders, can you do that consistently? Can you make big money off 10 pips? If you have a lot of capital, you can do that, right? But if you don't have much capital, you need to kind of like learn a system that works for you. So for me, this works, right? Cashing in on like, you know, 100 pips every day or every other day, right? So something like this is more realistic for me because I don't have millions to trade with. Whereas with Raja, he's got millions to trade with, right? He can go in with those 50 lots, 100 lots, just cash in on those 5-6 pips. The guy's making money. So guys, that's why trading is such a personal thing, right? You need to understand your account size, your experience. Can you really hold those 50 lots, 100 lots? If I was to hold 100 lots, I'll start shaking, right? Because I'm not used to trading something like that. Whereas, like, you know, if I'm risking about 2% of my account, which is about $4,000, at that point, I'm not going to be shaking because I'm comfortable with that. So it's a very relative thing, right? You have to be very comfortable with your risk. You have to be comfortable with pretty much everything that you're trading. So step by step, but eventually you can achieve success. And now there are so many funding companies out there. There is so much, honestly. There should be no rush. You guys should literally just be focusing on getting educated and just learning the markets. That's why I also just stick to gold, guys, because at that point, you know the ins and outs of that pairs. Let's say if I had like 20 pairs I was looking at right now. Let's be realistic. Would I really be able to focus on 20 pairs at one time? Not really. Especially when a pair is so volatile. You want to focus on every single thing because every single thing tells you a story. Even one candle can increase your probability or decrease your probability. And we trade on 1 minute time frame. Like 1 minute time frame, literally. So every minute can kind of like give us that probability or take away the probability. So that's the thing, right? Do you not trade London session? No, guys, I don't trade London session. I just stick to NY session. That's the session I like. And yeah, honestly, I like the way gold moves around NY session. Also, where I'm based, the timing is also suitable for me. London session, I'll have to wake up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, I'm just not interested in doing that, right? By the time this session starts, I've done so much stuff, like, you know, because it starts at like 1:30. I live in London, right? So it's the perfect timing, the perfect session for me. So guys, we got NYSE approaching in next 10 minutes, 9 minutes to be precise. And then at that point, we understand that's when more momentum kicks in. So potentially in next 9 minutes, we can see our trades coming along. So let's just wait and see how it plays out. Just gotta wait, sit on our hands. But now guys, look, you should really applaud yourself. If you could, like, you know, if you were really able to kind of like stay off this range, you should really applaud yourself. Because look, you had massive candles to the top side. If you was like a basic retail trader, you could have given into that and kind of like, you know, got slapped within this range. But at this point now, if you've taken the professional approach and you're waiting for the extra bit of confirmation, look what you just stayed out of. All of this choppiness, and you know there is liquidity to the top side as well as the downside at this point now. So either way, the move will be amazing. And exactly, let's go on Forex Factory, see if we have any sort of massive news events. Look at that, clean. Guys, it's very clean. The price action will be very clean today. Very, very clean. So I'm really happy, really excited for today. Let's see later down this week if we have something else. Tomorrow is clean. The day after, we got some CAD news. We got orange folders, nothing. Oh, wait, we did have a USD folder. No, it's just CAD folders at that point. Okay, we do have a USD folder at 1:30. This is actually our session as well. So this is on a Thursday. On a Thursday, we have a news event. And then on a Friday, there we go. Okay, so Thursday and Friday are going to be more volatile sessions. Until then, we actually got clean price action. So yeah, when you have clean price action, you just have to let the volatility show you its hand, because it's not going to be something insanely crazy, right? So you can expect those pullbacks. Whereas if it was like a news event today, at that point, I would kind of like wait for those confirmations before the news have dropped and kind of like take a position before the news and kind of expect the volatility with the news to break out of the range. But today, because it's just going to be clean price action, either to the top side or the downside, we just have to wait for those extra bit of confirmations, right? And now, so you have to understand your sessions, right? When are you going to see more volume kick in, more volatility kick into the markets in the next 7 minutes? Because that's going to be your New York Stock Exchange open. So until then, you just have to sit on your hands and yeah, wait, have patience. Do you trade NFP? Yeah. We traded the past 2 NFPs. We cashed in some amazing moves. Like the past NFP, we caught about, how many pips did we catch, Ange? Like 200 pips, right?
Like 200, yeah.
Yeah, so last NFP we called 200 pips. The NFP before that is actually on my Instagram as well. So everyone watching my live stream, make sure you guys do follow me on Insta, because I do post a lot of stuff on Insta. I'm gonna start getting more active on Insta as well. Provide a lot of like, you know, free educational stuff on Insta. So make sure you guys follow me on Insta. The link is in the description. It's called d.a_forex. But yeah, the clips are on Insta. You can see how I cashed in on literally 100 pips in like 1 second on NFP. It was very exciting. So yeah, we do trade NFP. NFPs are like literally the favorite sessions of mine. Well, one thing I'm definitely not doing with NFP is setting a buy order at top side and sell order at the downside, because I've learned from Raja. Oh my gosh, do you guys remember that? Oh no. Yeah.
Activate both.
Yeah, imagine if both of them gets activated. So guys on the YouTube live stream, do you guys have any questions for us? You can ask us any sort of question you like, because at the moment we are waiting for those breaks, and at that point we're going to start being more laser focused. But until then, you just got to let price do his thing, right? Just got to wait for it. David, my friend, you seem very bored. Is price action boring today?
Yes, it's just not even.
My friend, you know, my passion for trading is very like, I have a lot of passion for trading. So something like this, it kind of gets me excited, because I know the breakout is going to be so explosive. So for me, this is not boring. This is, the more it will last, the more excited I'll get. That's how it works for me. Because the massive breaks are going to be either to the downside or top side. And we're going to see at least 100 pips after this massive consolidation. Massive consolidation. How is the Ftmo? So guys, with Ftmo challenge, at the moment I haven't cleared it. It's been very choppy price action. I'm still within the challenge. Let's see. 2 things are going to happen. Either I'm going to pass the challenge, or I might not be. If I'm not able to achieve the target, they're going to give me another try for free. So let's see what happens. Because I'm not rushing into it. As I said, I can pass the challenge in a day or 2. All I gotta do is kind of like take one trade and let the risk to reward play out, but I want to do it like in a sustainable and realistic way. So I'm kind of like just looking to take 1 to 2% risk per day and pass it that way. Show you guys that you can do as well. Otherwise, it's very easy to actually pass those challenges if you don't do it in a realistic way. Take one massive trade and just let the challenge, let the trade go your way. Especially on gold, it's very, very easy. How do they let you retry for free? So if you're in profits, okay, so basically you gotta understand, right? Not every week will be in your favor, right? Like it actually says it on their website as well if you go onto their website, because they have a lot of professional traders with them. They understand that some weeks are very choppy. So the past 2 weeks have been very choppy, right? Sometimes when you are in profits, you might not be able to, you know, hit a certain target, because you gotta understand, you gotta look at trading based off like, you know, your annual results. Can you do like 100% return on investment per annual basis? I can't, right? So monthly basis doesn't really matter because it depends on price action. So the past 2 weeks have been choppy. So what happens is if you're not able to hit the 10% target and you're still in profits, they can give you another try because they understand that this is the realistic way of trading. If some guru on Insta tells you like, listen, I make 100% return on investment every month. That's not realistic, guys. That's a guru on Insta. He's selling you signals and he's selling you a course. That's what he's doing because that's not a realistic way of trading. So yeah, so because Ftmo makes money when we make money, they take the professional approach, right? They understand how professional trading works. They understand not every month you can achieve those targets, even though those targets are realistic. Some months are worse than other months, right? So at that point, they see that if you can manage your risk within those choppy months, which we have done, right? We managed our risk, minimum 10-day trades, minimum 10-day trades. What do you mean? But yeah, they basically want
minimum
to say
10 days, yeah.
Yeah, so you have to trade for minimum 10 days, right? And then at that point you can pass. So yeah, they see if you can manage your risk within those choppy weeks, then at that point and you're still within profits, they'll let you go. So yeah. So that's the thing. Can't lose more than 5k in a day, max 10k. Yeah, that's the thing, guys. Would you really want to risk about 5% per day on a 200k account though? It
Not
doesn't make
bad.
sense. That's more than
Yeah.
2%. Like, look, understand this thing, guys. Even 1% is $2,000. If you can consistently make like 10% return on investment on 200k, that's literally 20k per month, right? And then imagine you up it to 400k now, 400k in capital. So you do two 200k challenges, they merge all together. That 20k becomes 40k at this point now. So guys, stop focusing on the numbers, focus on your trading, become consistently profitable. Money will fly into your pockets once you're consistently profitable. Until then, just don't worry about money. Just worry about your trading. Wait, have patience, and make sure you're actually like passionate about this. Because if you're doing this for money, you're not gonna last. Like, look at me. For me, I'm actually really, really passionate about this. So when I'm actually like putting that time in, like honestly, for me, it's not like work because I have the passion for it. So it doesn't feel like work, right? So it's not boring. That's the thing. Sorry, I meant that for 100k can't lose more than 5% in a day. Yeah. On a 100k account, you can't lose more than 5% a day. That's the same for 200k as well. Even let's say if you was to go for the 100k account on Ftmo, you can very easily make 1% return on investment per day, which is $1,000, guys. And now they've actually changed the splits also. Like, you know, when you start obviously getting that scale up, when they scale up your account to 25%, they changed the split to 90-10. So yeah, it's amazing, really amazing actually. Must be in profits of at least 1 cent. So yeah, guys, in order for you to get the second try, you just have to be in profits. And 1 cent.
It's my last day tomorrow. I'm at 3% drawdowns, but I'm still chilling.
Yeah.
It's you're right like that.
You see, unfortunately, what happened with Ange was she actually was in profits, but then she didn't realize that she just has to be literally 1 or 2 cents up. She thought maybe the profits have to be significant, like, you know, 5 to 6%. So she kind of went back to the drawdown. But yeah, it's okay. You'll easily do it today or tomorrow. You'll be back to break even very
The
easily.
lessons I got from doing it is priceless. So
Priceless, exactly.
nonetheless,
Exactly.
it's fine.
Because guys, at the end of the day, the markets can teach you. Like, gurus can only show you like what they look for, right? They can only teach you like the basics. They can teach you the concepts, but other than that, only the markets can teach you. And how can you do that? You can do that through consistency. So yeah, if you're consistent, every single day you turn up and you watch your session every single second, at that point magic will happen, but it will take time, right? So now look, we're starting to approach the top side of the range, guys. At this point, I'm going to start focusing on my setup. we're starting to approach the top side of the range. Let's see what happens at this point now. We got NYSE open at this point now, so we do understand that this is obviously a lot of volatility. There will be a lot of volatility kicking into the session at this point now. These were the highs, and look, at this point now, attempted to break the lows numerous times. It is a game of probability. If price wants to go up, I want to see a nice close above this, and then some sort of retest, and then I'm going to take it all the way to the top side at this point now. It's a game of probability. We're starting to break to the top side of the range. You do have a lot of liquidity here, so you're going to see those explosive moves at this point now. Let's see how the next candle opens and how this candle closes as well at this point now, honestly. Because you are starting to approach this 4-hour zone, so I want to be extra careful. If we can see some sort of retest at this point now and then another explosive candle to the top side, I'll be looking to take it back up. Okay, let's see. Okay, very nice candle now. See, NYSE volatility kicked in, breaking off the range. Very explosive candle at this point now. You are starting to approach this 4-hour resistance, so you want to be super careful, right? So in order for us to kind of execute on this, you want to see some sort of massive, not massive pullbacks, little pullback candles, maybe 1 or 2 bearish candles. At that point, another engulfing bullish candle, and then we can kind of execute on those buys with confidence. Until then, we understand that we're starting to tap this top side of the range, and we are at all-time highs for the daily candles, so you don't want to execute on something like this. For me personally, I want to wait for the extra bit of confirmation because I understand sells are still in play. So look at this now. Let's quickly look at the 30 minutes, see if we have the upper wick and the bottom wick. Let's quickly go down to the 30 minutes time frame. Look, the 30-minute candle has the bottom wick as well as the upper wick at this point now as well. So look, this is also volatile session at this point now. What business does price have coming down and breaking those lows, right? So if you start seeing gold starting to break all lows at this point now, kind of like see massive bearish candles printing out at that point, honestly, I'll be looking for this area to get retested for the second time and then kind of take it all the way back down. Because you are at all-time highs on the daily candle at the moment as well. And yeah, now volatility should work in your favor. So let's see what happens. Look, got a nice close above. This one came down to retest. Can this candle potentially go up to engulf the previous candle? Or are we going to start forming some sort of double top here? So you have to start asking those questions. Every minute tells you our new story. At this point now, look at them break out as well. It wasn't very explosive, but as soon as we broke out of this area, the breakout was very explosive as soon as we broke these highs, right? So let's see what happens now. Look at that. See how volatility kicks in, and now massive bearish candles have kicked in. Let's see how this candle closes. Honestly, I might be looking to execute on sells if you can get those retests at this point now. And yeah, this is very nice at this point now. Look, this area is holding. Lovely stuff. Coming all the way back down. So where did we create those new highs from? Let's see quickly, right? This was the area where we did form those new highs from. So let's quickly just mark this area. If we start breaking below this area, the probability for sells again goes in our favor. Until then, just have to wait and be patient. But look at these candles now. Look at the volatility kick in at this point now. And yeah. So where did the buyers take control from? Right here. So until then, this is just a retest. But if we can start breaking below this, start getting a nice close below this, one tiny bullish candle and then another massive bearish candle, at that point, you know the probability is on your side. From here, we do understand the buyers take control from, so you just want to wait and see how price reacts around this area. At the moment, you can see you are seeing a reaction. You're seeing a lot of momentum kick into the top side. So yeah, just want to wait and see. Oh, look at this bullish candle at this point now. Wow. At this point now, you want to see this bullish candle just reject and next candle start to break these lows and kind of like engulf everything to the left. And that could be our candle, our play candle. So let's just see what sort of reaction we get around this area. That's what I'm looking to see at this point now. But this is also, guys, now your NYSE open. So a lot of momentum in the market at this point now. So now you are expecting the volatility to kind of break all lows as well. But this is very nice so far. At this point now, this candle has not engulfed anything. So you don't expect this next candle to engulf anything either. If you do start seeing this coming all the way back up, at that point, you're looking to see, are we going to see a double top formation here? Are we going to start breaking all the lows over here now? Let's see what happens at this point. Because look, at this point now, you got the rejection. You kind of got a break out of it. Look, where did we see the explosive push up from? This is where we got the explosive push up from. This is the second retest at this point now. Two things can happen, right? Either we can start forming some sort of double top, double bottom over here, or we're going to start clearing this area with a lot of momentum. This area should tell us, because this is the most relevant area within this current price section right now. This should at least tell us now, okay, look, buyers are in control at this point now, or the sellers are in control. How can we know that sellers are in control? After doing a second retest of this area, if we engulf this area, at that point, probability goes in our favor. Until then, you're kind of just waiting for this second area to get retested again and see if you're going to form a double top here or not. So yeah, because we are still within this consolidation, so you want to be super careful. But now gold has started to move at this point now, so we can see something playing out. So see why, guys, we did not execute on a sell position just yet. We are still waiting for probability to come to our side. At that point, we can take that trade. Otherwise, this would have been stopped out at break even now. Actually, this could have been a losing trade, because I would not have made it risk-free just yet, because I would have entered around here somewhere. So yeah, see, that's why patience pays. It kind of filters out everything that's not high probability. So you can, that's kind of what you want to do. Like during your session, filter out anything that does not fit your criteria. And then whatever fits your criteria, execute on it even without thinking twice. Because if you start overthinking, you're going to get scared. Your emotions are going to take over. So be like a computer. You have like, you're programmed, right, to see certain things. As soon as you see them, you execute without emotions. That's what you're looking to do. Sound volume is much better now, by the way. Usually it is a bit low. Oh yeah, guys, I'll move the mic a little bit closer to my mic, to my mouth as well. There you go. But yeah, there's a reason we don't play any sort of music or anything like that, because look, the aim is to not make this entertaining. The aim is to make this stream educational and realistic. And if I wanted to make this entertaining, I could do that as well. Start bringing like millions of people in here, kind of like, you know, to increase the numbers. But that's not my intentions at the moment. My intentions are to kind of make this educational and realistic. And in order for you to do that, you need to be like laser focused. So music can really distract you. For me, it can. Okay, there we go. Kind of like starting to approach this area again now. At this point, again, see, bias to control over here. This can, if we start engulfing this area at this point now, I think we should be good to go up. Very nice candles. See that, right? Let's see how this candle closes. If we break out of this range at this point now, we're coming all the way to the top side, right? The daily highs are all the way up there. We can get a nice stop loss as well, kind of like aiming for that 1-to-1. But let's see how this candle closes above this range at this point now. We're starting to clear this high. I want to see another nice bearish candle at that point. Just take it back up. Starting to clear this area at this point now. Again, see bias to control over here, but you didn't see anything which engulfed anything to the left. So down here, there was not enough confirmation, because potentially this could have been a rejection area. But now if we do start clearing this area with momentum and we don't see any rejections at this point now, then guess what? You can execute on a buy position here, right? But now at this point, I do want to see that pullback though. I do not care about FOMO right now, because look at the previous candle. How big was the previous candle? It was about 14 pips. So the next candle can get exhausted, a little bit exhausted, right? So you want to see this candle kind of like start to play around this area, maybe even retest this resistance, and then a massive rejection and kind of like break these highs. And then from there, we can take a position, a buy position up here, aiming for this area over here to hold. We can see this was a very strong area previously, kind of having that 25 pip stop loss, aiming for the 1-to-1, which should be here on just before the top side of this area that we are approaching. So let's see how it plays out now. Let's see how it plays out. So now you want to see a bearish candle, but nothing that engulfs everything to the left, right? You want to see a tiny bearish candle, maybe another tiny bearish candle, and then one massive bullish candle. At that point, you have the signal to take it back up. You got the close above the resistance at this point now. This, you want to wait for that pullback and then take it back up. Okay, let's see how this bullish candle opens at this point now. Oh, a lot of momentum to the top side at this point. A lot of momentum. If we can engulf everything to the left at this point now, I'll execute on this position, keeping my stop loss tight below this. But I want to see everything to the left get engulfed, a nice engulfing bullish candle, and then I'll execute on a buy position. Because two things can happen, right? Either we're going to see sellers take control again, or you're going to see a massive engulfing bullish candle. So again, asking questions, right? Asking questions. This is a question, and yeah, we're waiting for it to be answered now. As soon as it's answered, that's it. Okay, at this point now, it's starting to look really, really nice to the top side. Let's see if we can engulf everything to the left. At that point, I'll execute with confidence because we have a range to the top side as well, and our 1-to-1s can get hit within that range. Right now, still not seeing momentum to the top side. Again, I want to see something nice. See, this candle has not engulfed everything to the left, right? So at this point, it becomes a bit tricky because I do want to see these highs get cleared and we engulf these highs as well. Until then, again, it can form a double top here, right? Because there is no bond wick on the daily candle as well as the weekly candle. So today, I'm being extra careful with these buys. But I know that volatility is here now, so either way, I'll take it. Again, look at our session. We have not done anything so far just yet. Our session started here and we are literally we've been within this consolidation. And again, we haven't really broken off the consolidation. We haven't gone that far. We're literally just 10 pips away from the current consolidation. That was during our session, right? So we haven't really missed out on anything so far. So there should be no FOMO. And again, guys, the end is approaching doesn't mean that you should start kind of like breaking that patience, like, you know, breaking your patience and like start to be like, oh no, I want to execute. Otherwise, my trading end is just nearby. No, guys, no, it doesn't matter. A no trade is better than a losing trade. Just keep that in your mind. Learning a lot. Thank you, bro. Thank you for joining, guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you tune in, it just shows that you're dedicated and you actually do want to learn, and like, you know, in a realistic way. No gambling mentality, flipping. No, we don't do flipping over here. We're taking this as a professional approach. This is a professional approach, right? 1 to 2% per day, waiting for that 1 to 2 high probability trading setup. And yeah, if it comes, we're gonna take it. Otherwise, no. Like over here, what could we have executed on? Look. Like the only thing that you had was obviously bias to control here again. Then you were asking a question, was price going to just come up here and kind of like, you know, sellers were going to take control here? At this point now, look, it answered our question. No, sellers did not take control here, but we have formed a new high at this point now. So now maybe you want to see some sort of pullbacks and then a massive engulfing bullish candle kind of like clearing out of this range. At that point, you can go in with confidence, right? But right now, look what's happened. From here, we got a rejection, kind of came down to retest this resistance. At that point, we came back again to kind of like retest the same sort of structure, right? So again, we're asking a question. We're just asking questions. As soon as our questions have been answered, we'll take the trade. Until then, we can't take a trade. Why would you want to answer a question when you don't know the answer to the question? Doesn't make sense, does it? So you just have to wait for the answers. You have to see trading as like storytelling, right? Every chapter holds something new, but you need to wait for the chapter to unfold. Right now, the chapter needs to unfold. At this point, look, it can very much just be like literally pullbacks, right? This candle here, at this point, looks starting to look good, but again, you have to see where did the bias take control from? Right there. Are you seeing any massive engulfing bearish candles? How big was this candle? Just about 9 pips, nothing big for gold whatsoever. You can see something which is like 100 pips on a minute time frame. So yeah, but at this point now, literally, if this candle can engulf everything to the left this late into the session, especially with the new 15-minute opening, at that point I can execute on a buy position because this becomes your pullback, right? If this can engulf everything to the left at this point now, we kind of like broke out of this structure over here. This becomes your retest, and then if this can engulf everything to the left, kind of like clearing 1806, we know that we do have some sort of range to the top side. We can execute on the 1-to-1 setup. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Again, on asking these questions: double top. Are we gonna clear this? This is the new 15-minute open. You wanted to clear the you wanted to create the bottom wick as well as the upper wick. At that point, give us some sort of confirmation. So there we go. Let's see now how this candle closes at this point now. If we do close above the range at this point now, after creating that pullback, kind of like engulfing everything to the left, if this is a volatile candle, I'll look to execute on a buy setup at this point now, guys. But let's just see how it breaks this range, right? If we can get a nice close above this range. I really do like this buy setup over here at this point now. Aiming for the 1-to-1. But again, asking the questions, right? Has the question been answered yet? No. Either you're going to see a massive rejection or a massive break. Until then, you just have to wait and have patience. Otherwise, okay. Let's see what happens. If I see a massive bullish engulfing candle over here, then I'll take it. Until then, I don't see anything right now. Becomes very tricky when you're looking for sells, when you understand what the daily candle does, right? And you know how sells can play out. It becomes very tricky for you to just execute on any bullish candle. You want to wait for the extra bit of confirmation, or you can get stopped out. It's as simple as that. Right now, do you see anything which shows that buyers are in control right now? Over here, yeah, this was a double bottom. This was a nice sort of like, you know, confirmation. But again, you didn't see anything which is like very, you know, massive. Something that engulfed everything to the left. Now, let's say if I saw like a massive candle over here, I would have executed. Until then, guys, just have to wait. I'm 30 plus pips profit from 1802. Oh, you took a trade all the way down there? Oh yeah, down here. Yeah, honestly, as soon as the momentum kicks in, if it is to the downside, this 1802 will get cleared in like literally a second. So I want to swim with the big sharks, the big whales. I don't want to be with little fish. This is all just like tiny baby fish moving the price up. As soon as the big whale comes into the market, you're going to see massive candles. Okay. At this point now, look, you got a breakout. This becomes your pullback. Can this engulf everything to the left at this point now? Can I keep stop losses below this to take it back up? Let's see though. Choppiness. But guys, this is, you gotta understand another thing. When you get like consolidation like this is when usually people lose their accounts and they blow up their accounts, like lose every single thing by over risking here, over risking there, just getting slapped out again and again, right? Because no one's in control right now. Let's actually zoom out. Look, do you see anyone in control right now? Nobody's in control. We're just consolidation. This consolidation is just above the previous consolidation. It's as simple as that. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. We've not done anything. So yeah, honestly, no one's in control right now. So this is where you can lose money because it's not going to go either way, right? So you just have to wait and sit this out. And if you can't do that as a trader and this is pissing you off, you're like, no way, I've invested so much time into this, it's not going anywhere. What the hell is this? Oh, this trading strategy is not for me. Too many confirmations. Honestly, trading's not for you. But if you're sitting here and you're actually learning something right now and you're excited for the move that's about to come, it might not come, right? That's another possibility. But if you're excited for that, then trading is for you. I'm telling you, this stream is realistic. It's not that fake guru stuff that you become a millionaire tomorrow. No way. This is realistic stuff. So yeah. Honestly, the move that we're going to see is going to be very nice though, because it's not done nothing whatsoever. Look at that. This is literally when our session started, right? Look, let's see what we've done so far. This was the 130 open. Literally been within this 50 pip consolidation. Nothing whatsoever so far. So yeah, we're going to see a very nice move. Okay, at this point now, again, can this engulf everything to the left? Let's see. Asking questions, right? Second time, failed to break to the top side. Again, retesting for the third time. If we break out of it explosively with a lot of momentum, at that point, you can let the probability do its thing because you're starting to form new, because look at this high, right? This is your first low, and then the next low is actually above the previous low. At this point, you're forming the higher highs and higher lows. Look, if you can get a nice close out of this, let the structure do its thing, because you know the range to the top side is all the way up there. But right now, I haven't seen a candle that I like, a nice engulfing candle. I haven't seen it. Even here, I didn't see any nice candles, to be honest. It might very well push up all the way to the top side of the range, no doubt about it. But again, those rejections are going to be massive. That's the thing. Let me just show you guys what we called out on Friday as well. If you guys were not here, this is what we called out. This whole move to the downside, we called it out on a Friday. Actually, if I can show you in a 1 minute time frame, it will make more sense also of like candles we're looking for, right? So you see this whole drop. We literally called out this whole drop. We were waiting for it the whole time. But even because we are so disciplined, this was after our session. We didn't wait for it, right? But this is what we are looking for. Look at this, guys. Clean candles. It shows you like sellers are in control. Right now, we're within something like this. Do you want to trade this, or do you want to trade this clean price action? Imagine like you're stacked up on this. Wow. Just look at this, guys. Look at what gold can do. Let me just show you guys what gold can do. This is 1 minute time frame. Look at that. Over 200 pips. So why would you want to trade something like this? 50 pips. Look, literally, we're literally within this, right? Consolidation, a consolidation above the previous consolidation, and then a massive drop. So yeah, price always repeats itself. That's why I have no FOMO. I do not want to execute on something like this. It's just not nice. It's not nice price action. Well, at all-time highs, we're not seeing any sort of momentum kick into the top side. Well, within this consolidation, why would I want to execute on a position right here? Just doesn't make sense, does it? The probability is not on my side. Yeah, sure, we're forming higher highs, higher lows, create a double bottom here, but you haven't seen massive momentum to the top side just yet. Nothing has engulfed. There are no engulfing bullish candles. Again, broke out of the range, but again, look at that rejection from the top side. You had a rejection from the top side at the moment. Now, let's say if this candle can kind of like engulf everything, at that point, you could kind of like put your stop loss below this, right? Because this became your pullback candle. To take it back up, I have to wait for the candle to close first. Have to wait. Patience pays. Still haven't taken a single trade yet, as you guys can see. There we go. This one's starting to look good at this point now, but one thing, it does not have a bottom wick. This candle does not have a bottom wick. But again, if there is momentum and it can engulf everything and not reject from the top side, I do not care about the bottom wick, because there is a 1 minute time frame at the end of the day. Next one can just pull back a little bit and then start exploding again. But look at that now. Let's say if you did execute on this position again, let's say right here, you're back to drawdown, right? So I want to see no drawdowns whatsoever. I know drawdowns are a normal part of the game, but when you're a momentum trader, you can wait for that setup, which gives you literally zero drawdowns. Yeah, guys, honestly, I'm not comfortable with these buys over here. I'm willing to miss out on this. I'm not looking to execute on this buy position. It's not something I like. There is no momentum to the top side right now. It can very well push up, right? Because it is gold. Can very well push up, but until I actually see like a massive momentum candle, I'm not looking to touch this. Okay, there we go. This candle looks good now. This candle looks really nice at this point now. Kind of like retesting and breaking out of the range, right? At this point. Very nice. Let's see how it closes though. We can keep those tiny stop losses below the current candle, expecting the next one to respect the highs. But again, you are tapping those highs at this point now. So let's see how it plays out. It really depends on the next candle, how the next candle opens, right? And then kind of like keeping stop loss is very, very tight. Well, you have to wait at the moment, see what the next candle does. If it creates that bottom wick, at that point, you can expect the highs to get cleared. But this is something we have been waiting for. See momentum do kick in. And now we know that we can take that trade. But let's see what the next candle does, because we are approaching this area at the moment. Right here, you had no confirmations, honestly, whatsoever. This candle can pretty much just fake this candle out. So you have to be extra careful. And even keeping a position here, wait for it. Very nice now. Exactly, something like this. But this is not the candle I was looking for. I'm waiting for those pullbacks. So 1, 2 nice bearish candles. At this point now, we have broken out of the consolidation. Look at this candle here. Can you see anything like that to the left? No, you cannot. So now, because you didn't see anything like that previously, at this point you have that signal. It shows you that buyers are in control. Do you really want to buy it right here? No. Now you're waiting for 1 or 2 tiny bearish candles. At that point, 1 massive bullish candle, and I'm looking to execute on it. Until then, I'm chilling. So this should not give you FOMO either, because look, this is the first momentum candle you have seen after like all of this mess right here. But this should make you happy, right? This is a nice break, and we do understand that it usually does pullback, right, after breaking out. So if you see a pullback now and a nice explosive candle, at that point you can let the probability do its thing. But you want to see something like this printer again after that pullback. If you want to take a buy position here, you can. But for me, do I want to take a buy position when we're at all-time highs and kind of like tapping into a key area without a pullback? Hell no. Impossible. This is what professional trading is. You need to be willing to miss out on something like this. Look, at this point, our session started there. If we did see something like this, we could have very well executed on something like this, right? But look at that. Going back to our session, what did we see? What did we see? High highs being formed, but did we see one massive engulfing bullish candle over here? No. Look at that. This candle here, tiny. Rejection from the top side. Rejection from the top side. Could we have kind of like anticipate this candle? No way. How? You got a rejection from the top side. This is just... There we go. See, now you're starting to see momentum to the downside kick in. So exactly what we want to wait for. Let's say if you did take a position up here because FOMO kicked in, you're in drawdown now. So now if you see some sort of nice pullbacks at this point now and another massive engulfing bullish candle kind of like clearing out of this, you know what the top side is. Otherwise, this is again, we're tapping into the key area at this point now. If you see a lot of momentum to the downside, sells can play out as well. That's the best thing about patience, right? 222. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. See, did you want to execute a buy position here? For me personally, no way. No way. At this point now, guys, if you inform a double top here, literally right on the key area. Oh, this is our daily area as well as the weekly area. We're going to see such a nice dump. Look at this candle. Wow. That's what happens when you don't take an impulsive trade. Like literally, that's what happens. This looks very nice now, this candle over here. Honestly, very, very nice, honestly. I want to be super careful because you want to see, right? Where did you see the explosive push up from, right? So as soon as we broke these highs, that's kind of when you saw the bias to control. So you want to see now, are you going to see another bullish momentum at this point kick in after retesting that area? Or is this going to kind of like turn into some sort of rejection from the top side? And this is where like sellers take momentum. At this point, if I see another engulfing bearish candle over here, I'm taking a sell position, keeping my stop loss above this. So yeah, I'm just going to make sure my magic keys are ready. Because at this point, you're not expecting the double tops to be created. They can be formed, but your momentum should give you the 1-to-1 at this point now, right?
It's actually a double top on the 4-hour.
Yes, lovely, 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 lovely. Okay, I'm really starting to like this at this point now. Really, really starting to like this, but I want to see one more pullback candle. Tiny, tiny bullish candle, one massive engulfing bearish candle. I'm taking this bad boy all the way downtown. Look at this whole move just get corrected at this point now. Whole move got corrected at this point now. Keeping stops like that, taking it all the way to the downside. All the way to the downside, but we have to wait, right? Have to wait. Now, you don't want to see any sort of massive engulfing bullish candles. Got rejection from the top side as well as the downside. Might want to see one candle come up, retest this, another rejection from here, and then one massive bearish candle taking it all the way down. Because you got to understand, where did the bias take control from? Just this point here, right? So now at this point now, if you can kind of like break that area, which we did retest here, right? So if you see another massive bearish candle at this point now, you're starting to clear this area. At that point, you can kind of expect this area to hold and the momentum to drive the price down. But the probability will increase if we can kind of like retest this for the second time and hold it for the second time, right? And then at that point, we understand that this area is strong and then the sells can play out, keeping a very tiny stop loss, about 15 pips, yeah, 15 to 20 pips. So let's see what happens now, guys. Excited for this. There we go. Tiny, tiny, tiny bullish candles printing up from this area. You don't want to see any massive bullish candles at this point as well. That's the thing, right? Because guys, you're at all-time highs, honestly. For me, the only buy signal was this here, but it's tapping into the key area. I don't want to execute on it. Hell no. I want this candle to now engulf everything to the left, breaking below 1806. I'm executing on this to the downside at that point. And said this is also like your double bottom on the 4-hour, right? So you know that is so strong, so strong. Wow. Double top, you said, right? On the 4-hour, you said, Ange. We haven't formed a double top just yet on the 4-hour. It's actually up here a little bit. Maybe on your broker is down here. 1814. That's the area I'm looking for. That's where I got the line. See, the red line is at 1814. Because I know double top will be formed there. But let's see now, guys. Let's see if this candle can engulf everything to the left. And I'm going in with a sell position. If this can close, now this is starting to look really, really good at this point. Honestly, I like this. I want to wait for this to close. And I'm executing on a sell position over here. Okay, I'm liking this at this point now. I want to see how this closes though. Oh, I like this, guys. Okay, I'm looking to take a position here now at this point, honestly, aiming for 1-to-1 to the downside. aiming for 1-to-1 at this point now, securing 50% at 1-to-1, and then I'll let the rest run. But I want to see how this one closes at this point now. Stop loss above this, and let's see if we can take this all the way to the downside at this point now. Let me show you guys my MetaTrader 5 as well. Give me a second. Let me just see how this one closes just to see. And yeah, at this point now, you should see a lot of momentum to the downside. At this point now, price is no business breaking highs, right? The momentum is there. This is also your new 3 o'clock open at this point now. This is when you're expecting the momentum to drive the price all the way to the downside, all the way to our TP. You don't want to see highs get broken at that point. Is end of our session as well, and if it does stop me out, I'm not looking to scale in, because I do want to scale in at this point now. You have the upper wick as well as the bottom wick. So yeah, let's see how it plays out. You want to see the momentum kind of like break all lows and drive price all the way down to my TP. I'm going to secure 50% at 1-to-1 and let the rest run, because I know what the potential is to the downside, right? But let's see first what happens. Let's first see what happens. You want this candle to kind of turn into that pullback candle and then start breaking the lows again, and I'll look to scale in. But first, I want to wait for that confirmation. Give me a second. Let me see if I can scale in, and then after that, I'm going to be looking to call it a day. So I want to see some sort of rejection here. Start driving price down all the way to my TP at this point now. Start breaking these lows with a new 3 o'clock, which is now. You should see a lot of momentum to the downside at this point now. Start breaking all the way downtown, all the way down at this point. Let's see what the current lows are for our session. They are right there, right? So as soon as we start breaking the current lows, I think we can come all the way downtown, right? But you don't want to see any massive engulfing bullish candles at this point, right? If you start clearing this area, I'm going to take this trade out, because it is the end of my session, so I don't want to hold it for too long. So I'll take this trade out at this point if we do clear this area. Let me quickly just go on the 30 minutes candle, see if we have an upper wick as well as a bottom wick. I am interested. See the upper wick, it becomes a bit tricky at this point now. It might want to create the upper wick, right? It becomes a little bit tricky at this point now. But again, there is momentum at this point now. So the question that you're asking is, does it want to create the upper wick and then drop after that? So where can you potentially drop from? So this can be the point where you can drop from, right? So that's what I'm saying. At this point, in order for me to scale in, this area needs to start holding, right? But I think we can wick up a little bit more, kind of like creating the upper wick, right? Kind of like aiming 1% on this. Let me see if I can aim 1% on this, kind of keep it all the way to the top side. Yeah, this will be my 1% at this point now. Let's see if we can hold this area at this point. Let's see first. I want to see one massive engulfing bearish candle. At that point, I'll scale in. Let's see. See this candle, top side of the range, kind of like start forming that double top over here. But I want to see the momentum kick in now. Otherwise, I am not looking for anything. As soon as we start breaking these lows, I'm going to make everything risk-free as well. But I do want to scale in right here. I do want to scale in with one position right here. Kind of like from below this area here though. Below this, scale in. This should become your pullback. This should become the fake out candle starting to break all lows at this point now. And then kind of scale in. Because I want to move my stop losses above here. My stop loss is at the moment all the way up here. I'm looking for something like this. I have one position open, stop loss above there. I want to open another position over here. Stop loss is just above here. If I see another massive engulfing candle, kind of like engulfing everything, at that point I'm going to look to manage risk as well, guys. But this area should really hold. You don't want to see this area break out at this point, right? With like momentum to the top side. At this point, this is also your new 3 o'clock open as well at this point now. Look, if you start clearing this, you're going to come all the way up to here to create that double top potentially, right? I don't want to be part of it. At this point, if you see a nice engulfing bullish candle here, you're kind of coming all the way to the top side. And I'll manage my risk over here. Stop loss is above this structure, and I'm looking for a second position, something like this. Stop loss is anywhere where the rejection is. Kind of like position over here somewhere. As soon as I see a nice engulfing candle, taking it all the way down. Kind of upping my risk to 1%, because as I said earlier, this is 0.5% risk per position. So let's see how it plays out. Again, just a pullback candle, nothing very explosive. Seems like it's just making the upper wick. Might just want to come all the way to the top side over here, and then kind of like from there we might see a nice drop. So let's see what happens. Come on, gold, let's give us that move now. Goldilocks. This was a very nice candle over here though, engulfed everything, and then we kind of got the pullback. This one engulfed the previous candle as well. So that's the thing, I don't want to take another position just yet. I'm really expecting rejections anywhere from this point on now. But as soon as we clear this area, at that point I'm going to call it a day, because at that point price is going to drive up again and my session has ended. So let's see how it plays out. I'm ready for this though. So my thing is open at this point now, guys. Anything I see massive engulfing bearish candle, I'll put the stop loss above this, taking a position anywhere I see that massive bearish candle, right? Because I'm expecting this to be an upper wick, but if you do start clearing this, at that point most probably just gonna call it a day. It is a Monday, my session has ended, so yeah. But I'm also not, I don't have any sort of TPs at this point now as well. So if you do see momentum kick into the downside, I'll kind of hold this for a couple pips, right? Just gonna chill stop losses. But if we do start clearing this at this point now, my session has ended, I'll be disciplined and I'll call it a day. But this is where I'm expecting the double top formation. This is literally our key area as well, right? Our daily key area. If we quickly go down to our charts, look at that. This is within our key area. So if we can form a double top within our key area, at that point you can see the sales playing out. Otherwise, you're going to start clearing this, go up and drop later on, just what happened on Friday as well, right? At that point, you just have to have discipline and call it a day, because you need to understand when did your session start and when did it end. That's all you can do, right? Because we do understand that we get very nice moves within this session, but going back to our session, there was nothing really. Could have taken, I guess, one position here, but let's say if you did take that position here, stop loss was like 32 pips. You're kind of like expecting this to break, which can be a double top formation within a key area, which is very strong. So let's see what happens now. Let's see what happens. So guys, let me show you my thing years old, my MetaTrader 5. As you guys can see, my stop loss is above this and I am potentially about to get stopped out. Give me a second. So look, I got one position here, stop loss above this. I want to scale in with 1% risk on this position, but I need to see another confirmation. I'm expecting this to hold as a double top area. I don't want to see price breaking out of this. If it does break out of this, at that point you have more potential to the top side and is the end of my session. So let's see, this is the last bit of area. I want to see if we can get some sort of nice rejections from here. Otherwise, gotta call it a day. Gotta call it a day. Got 2% risk for the day left, right? Well, let's see what happens now. Because look at these candles, they're just very, very tiny candles as well. The only nice candle you had was this candle over here. After such a massive bullish drop, this is only just a pullback, right? Because look at your 30 minutes. It needs to create that upper wick, right? At this point now, where can you expect a rejection from? Just up here. So this is where you got the rejection from previously, right? Until then, you've pretty much just done nothing. This just becomes a pullback to kind of like go up to the next resistance area. But let's see if you can see some nice bearish momentum kicking at this point now. I'll look to scale in and then kind of just hold this at least like for at least till like 1795, because you need to grab liquidity, right? Liquidity is all the way below here. That's where the bottom wick is. Liquidity is all the way below this. This is your money's on. Money's on. Let's see if you can start seeing a dump now. Let's see. Man, we really haven't seen volatility this whole session, have we? Nothing happened whatsoever. Literally choppy, choppy, choppy. One nice break. Literally at all-time highs. Look at your daily candle. Do you really want to take up buy position over here? When it's at all-time highs, there is literally no bottom wick. On the weekly as well as the dailies, pushed about 180 pips. Look at that. Also look at the weekly wick as well. It's not just the daily wick, it's also the weekly wick as well. That's the thing. At this point, it becomes very tricky, right? It becomes very, very tricky actually for you to kind of execute on a buy position here. So for me today, honestly, I was only looking for sales. For me, buy position just did not make sense because obviously we do trade based off the daily candle, right? The current daily candle right now, it's just not here. So I want to see momentum kick into the downside now, guys. But otherwise, it's going to be something like Friday. You're going to see a consolidation, maybe another push up here to the next key area, and then another massive drop to the downside. So if we do start clearing this, I'm not looking for any more trades at that point, because the end of our session, unfortunately. But that's what trading is. You got to be very strict and very disciplined. and it is a Monday, so that's the thing, right? Because at this point, let's say if I was to get stopped out here, I was to take another trade after my session has ended, that becomes a revenge trade in my opinion. That's not good. But look, again, let's ask a question over here. Double top formation, or we're gonna see a double top formation here, massive bearish candles here, engulfing everything to the left. At this point now, can we see a massive engulfing bearish candle, engulfing pretty much everything to the left? Can we see that? We're gonna see a massive engulfing bullish candle, kind of like clearing this, creating another high. Let's just see, right? Man, gold's been so choppy recently, honestly. Let's go. This is it now. Can we see that drop? Watch me just hold this, honestly. This is on a key area as well, if we can see a nice engulfing candle, honestly, because this is on a key area. That's the thing, right? It's on a key area. And you have the upper wick at this point now as well. So what business does price have kind of like engulfing everything? This became that pullback area as well, right? So imagine if you can see a nice bearish candle kind of like engulfing this here, right? This area, engulfing this whole area. At that point, it makes a lot of sense to make a position, kind of putting your stop loss above here and just letting it play out, really. But let's see though. Oh, this is nice, guys. This is really nice. If we start breaking this, this is nice. I'm looking to take a position here, honestly. Let's see how it plays out first. Let's see how this closes, this candle. Is it going to retest this, or are we going to start engulfing this at this point? If you can engulf this whole area, it will look good. Otherwise, it becomes a retest, right? Let's see what sort of reaction we get around here. Wait, hold on a second. So guys, literally just giving this the last chance, if you can see the sales play out now. Otherwise, as I said, our session did end now, so we're going to call it a day, but we'll see if the momentum kicks in just now. We're going to take this position because this is the trade we have been waiting for, right? So if it kicks in now, we can take a position. Otherwise, if we do start clearing these highs, I'll take out the position that I have and then just literally call it a day. It will be less than 1% loss for the day, and that's excellent. Because you can't really do anything if the market doesn't give you nothing. What are you going to execute on? You can't. Even let's say if you did execute on, okay, let's say let's kind of like go over this, right? Let's see if we had like anything which we could have executed on, right? Maybe we missed out on something. Okay, this candle over here, no one could have predicted something like this, right? There were no confirmations for something like this. So cool. At this point now, understand that this was obviously, and then at that point, wait for the pullback. Wait for the pullback. You didn't see another nice engulfing candle, kind of like suggesting that you want to break the highs. You got a bearish drop. At this point, look, we formed a new high, a new low at this point now. Rather than forming a new high, we actually formed a new low. So this high that we have formed at this point also is below this previous high. Keep that in your mind. Look where the momentum kicked in from, right? At this point now. And then obviously from here, if you can create a double top of pay, another massive bearish candle, you're expecting these to break, these lows, and then as soon as we start clearing these lows, oh boy, and I see sellers just take control. But unfortunately, gold is just very choppy at the moment. Can't do anything about it. Swear you say you're taking a position every minute, but you don't, lol. Yeah, because guys, I trade 1 minute time frame. Every minute candle can potentially be my confirmation candle. Let's say if I was to see, if I see a nice engulfing candle here, I'm taking a position. But if it doesn't turn out to be the engulfing candle, then I'm not taking a position. That's the thing. Look, I trade the 1 minute time frame. Is very intense. Every minute candle can kind of give me that confirmation. But if I don't see that confirmation, as I said, in a minute, the probability can be stacked against me or like, you know, stacked in my favor. So if it's stacked in my favor, I'll execute. If not, why would I execute? I'm just kind of like telling you guys what I'm gonna do. If it kind of like turns out to be what I'm looking for, then I'll do it. Otherwise I can't. Look, I did say I'm gonna execute in one position over here somewhere. I did. See this one over here, I did. It was a nice candle, kind of like breaking out of the range. But again, next one just started to pull all the way back up, forming this double top at this point. So now if I see another nice massive bearish candle, kind of like clearing this area over here, which we do have 1807, I'll take another position. But if we do clear these highs, as I said, I'll call it a day. Let's see. Took my 5%. Oh, wow. Someone made 5% today. On gold? How can you make 5% with this choppiness? Has to be over risking, man. Yeah, it can definitely work out if you have a trade here, but 5% within this price action? Ooh, that's risky, man. That's really risky. Really, really risky. Patience pays, guys. Patience pays. Patience is the key. If it doesn't want to drop now, it might want to drop later. It's as simple as that. But as I said, if we do start clearing these highs at that point, we're going to call it a day. So this will be the last area of interest we're expecting sales to play out from, because this is within that key area we're forming the double top, right, which is very, very strong. Very, very strong. Got to understand, this formation was actually below this, right? So it kind of technically needs to come up and retest the wick to reject, right? So let's see what happens. And we do understand that obviously this is where you got that push up from. So yeah, if we start clearing those lows at this point, no, why not? Let's take it downturn, right? Definitely interested in stacking one more position here though, if we can see it working out.
Candle close or impulsive break?
Say that again, Edge.
Candle close or impulsive break?
To the top side.
Down.
Oh, to the downside. Oh, have to be a candle close. Have to be a candle close. Have to be a candle close. Can't wait for can't do an impulsive break. Because look, where did you form the highs from, right? You understand, this is kind of where we formed the new, not the new highs, but let's see where. So this is the swing high that we have over here, right? Let's just kind of like mark it to be clear about this. So this is the swing high that we have. Man, gold's been so choppy, but again, we're kind of like approaching the end of the year as well, so it usually does that. That's why I kind of aim to make the 100% return on investment in like the first 10 months rather than like aiming for the whole year, because this is what happens. Same thing happens on GJ as well. If you trade GJ, oh man. So this is the swing high, right? Where did we form the swing high from? Look, so came all the way down to this area. This is where we saw that a lot of momentum to the top side kicked in, right? So at this point now, we're kind of like forming double top here again, created these lows again, came up. So at this point now, we just have to keep on asking the question, but where can we see the probability of our sales kind of like increasing if we break that area? So in my opinion, it has to be this area, right? But again, we have this area at this point now. It was not a very significant area, but this kind of was a pullback area though, right? You have to understand. So if you can kind of like engulf this area, breaking the lows over here, that way you have to just kind of let the probability work out and trust this setup here to work out, right? So yeah, let's just wait for the momentum to kick in. If the momentum kicks in, we'll execute. So we are approaching this area at this point now. So we do understand that this is a pullback area, right? Is it gonna turn into some sort of double bottom area over here? Just have to ask this question. Are you gonna see a massive engulfing bullish candle, kind of like engulfing everything to the left? At that point, you know you're taking it up, right? But as I said, I'm not really looking for anything if we start clearing this area. Just sticking to my bias really. Still within this trade, guys. Gonna make it a little bit tighter as well at this point. Still within this trade, just made it a little bit tighter, the stop loss. At this point now, you got one sort of rejection. At this point now, this one came up to kind of like retest, right? So if this candle can close like this and next one can engulf, I'll take a position, keeping a stop loss just above this. Until then, just have to wait. Have to wait. Nathan, swear you say like, you're taking a position every time the person that said that. Did you take all of the positions? It must be.
Please don't.
Please don't. Look, guys, I'm just giving you different scenarios because I trade 1 minute time frame. It's very intense. Every minute can kind of like bring up a new scenario. So this is just like me telling you like, listen, this is the scenario. Maybe it might play out in the next minute. There might be another scenario that might play out. That's all you can do, right? Plot out different scenarios and see what works out. If something works out, just execute on it. You have to wait for the markets to give you what the markets want to give you, right? So at the moment,
I've done it before. All the boys know here. Everyone knows. And it's not nice. Don't do it.
We've all done it, honestly. I'd rather just sit through this and not execute on anything than keep on executing on everything that I see. Because market will give you millions upon millions of opportunities, right? But that's where you have to just filter out all the opportunities that are, not in your favor. Because it's a game of probability. Once you understand the concept of trading, you don't have to take a trade every day. Who said you have to take a trade every day? For us, yeah, the way we trade, because we trade the 1 minute time frame, because it's so intense, we can kind of like squeeze out our 1-2-1s every day, right? So that's kind of why we can take a trade every day. But you don't have to take a trade every day. If it's something that's too much for you, then don't do it. Take 1 trade a week, take 2 trades a week. It's really up to you. It's a personal thing. For me, I'm comfortable with taking 1 trade a day or 2 trades a day if it plans out. Do you get what I'm saying? So it really matters on your personal sort of experience. At this point now, look, second rejection from this point on. This is becoming the consolidation now. Can we break out of the consolidation with explosive candle to the downside? Giving us a bit more probability on our side, right? But man, gold is so choppy right now. Very choppy, man. It's literally done nothing so far. Look when our session opened, literally right there. Until then, all we've done is consolidation, broke out of the consolidation. At that point, retest, double bottom over here. At that point, formed a new high. But until then, just have done nothing whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever, honestly. Do you guys see anything here that we could have executed on to the top side? Would you guys have executed on a buy position? This is a question for everyone in the Zoom as well as YouTube. Would you guys have really executed on a buy position here when you do understand that there is no bottom wick on a daily as well as the weekly and how choppy the price action is? And so a question for you, would you have executed on any buy positions over here during our session? Any of you guys? Oh, you guys are so bored, man. And
I'm looking.
Oh, okay, you're looking. Look.
Maybe the one in the beginning of the session, but that's like 1:30 on the dot. That's the only one that makes sense. But
I
it was
see Paul.
weird.
Paul is like this. He's struggling to even stay up right now. What's up, Paul, man? Did you take any trades on GJ? My brother. No? He said nah, bro. He didn't take anything. Anything on gold? Or still sitting on your hands?
Where's 1:30?
Oh, he left his headphones in the boulder. Okay. What's a boulder?
Boulder? What?
Yeah, I wanted to ask the same thing.
Let's check. I think maybe it's American slang or something. Images.
Oh, it's a town in
It's a rock.
Colorado.
Oh, look, it's a rock. Huh?
Paul, tell me it's a town, right? But yeah, a boulder's a big rock.
Yeah, he left. Oh.
Boulder's a city in Colorado.
Yeah.
It's just outside of Denver.
Oh, okay. I understand. Once price broke above 1805, I took a buy on the retracement. I got sell on gold, same entry as you, and now my heart is pumping because I opened big position. Guys, you never open a big position. I literally showed you my magic keys inserting the risk as well, 0.5%. Oh, wow. You don't go in with a big position that you cannot handle. And you need to understand how much of a stop loss are you keeping. Is it above the structure?
You learn from this.
Yeah, honestly, if you have a really massive position open at this point now, I can't really give you advice, but just do something, right, to make it more manageable, emotionally, basically. If you can do something to make it less stressful on yourself, at that point you're gonna think clearly. Until then, but you gotta understand again, gold is just not doing anything right now, is it?
It's it's another range.
It's range. It's just range. So at this point, you definitely don't want to open a big position within this range. It can very well drop down, but we don't know when it will drop down, right? We can only like kind of guess and react to what we see. So next 4 minutes, we got the new 30 minutes opening. Maybe with that, we can start dropping. Because this 30 minutes, what has it done? Look, let me show you. It's literally done nothing. Look at this 30-minute candle. It's literally done nothing, guys. Look at that. Where's it done? It's done nothing whatsoever.
Who's the bro that's, feeling uncomfortable right now? I mean, if you look at the wicks, it's higher lows. So that should settle you a little bit.
Someone says sales won't play out until 1805 is broken. 1805 is broken. Most definitely. Yeah, again, the probability will be on our side once 1805 is broken. Most definitely. But again, lower time frames, if you can see some sort of nice formations here and I see momentum, I'm taking it before 1805 is broken, that's for sure. But yeah, again, see 1805, that's where you kind of saw that next move to the top side, right? It's actually a little bit below 1805 to be precise. Yeah, it is 1805, my bad. 1805, that's when you saw the momentum kick into the top side, right? This is where the buyers are in control. So yeah, most definitely when we see a nice close below this, suggesting that, look, sellers have taken control now, probability does increase, but we do have this whole range at the moment. So if you see a nice formation momentum, I'll look to execute. But right now, we're just not seeing anything whatsoever. Should I take another big position at 1809 and close position when both positions meet at halfway?
It's not financial
and become break even. My friends, you do what you want to do. I don't know. I'm not going to advise anything. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just doing what I'm comfortable with. You do what you're comfortable with. If doing that makes you comfortable, then go ahead. No one's stopping you. These guys, like, this is not a signal chat. This is for educational purposes to kind of like see how we trade, right? This is not you, and you can't use this as signals anyway on YouTube because there is a delay. So right now I'm talking, you're gonna hear me saying this in like literally 10 seconds after I've said it, right? I don't know how much of a delay is, to be precise. That's why usually people come and trade with us on Zoom, because there is no delay. So on YouTube there's a delay, so you can't use this as signals anyway. So I don't know why anyone would use this as signals on YouTube. Just use it for educational purposes, and then whatever you learn, start implementing it, rather than using this. Oh gosh, did someone really ask me that? If they could open another big position as soon as it meets halfway. Oh, this is too funny, man. What if you open another big position and we break this range and just explode all the way to 1812? What are you going to do at that point? You're going to open another big position here and wait for it. At that point, you're going to end up blowing your account. Look, that's the thing, right? You need to make like a trading plan and stick to that trading plan. The trading plan should tell you, look, what your entries are. And when you enter, how much risk can you enter with? All of that should be stated in your trading plan. Because you will have those months as well as those weeks where you will be in drawdown. That's what trading is. So that trading plan will protect your capital when the losing streak kicks in, right? So that's why you need a trading plan. Because not every week is a winning week. If someone says that all of their weeks are winning weeks, they are lying to you. Tell them to show a track record, at least like past 2 years. Tell them to show you every single week And if every single week was a winning week, wow, like literally, I'll give up everything I have to start learning from them. But I don't know if anyone does exist, especially like, you know, obviously your big bankers, like, you know, they have inside information. For them, it's possible to do that. But even for them, losses do occur. You have to understand. Exactly like signal providers. They enter, then 10 seconds later send the signal. I give up, man. I give up. I mean, if you want to do that on gold, 10 seconds, gold can literally be here. 10 seconds later. Let's see now. Cool. I gave you a sell signal here, right? Let's see. One. Let's see what happens. Look, let's see where the current price action is. Let's see. I'll give you a sell signal here, right? Let's see what happens in the next 10 seconds. Right now, it's very rangy. But let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Okay, it kind of worked out because obviously we are within the consolidation, but to be realistic on gold, sell signals cannot work out because in 10 seconds gold will be all the way down there, especially if it's a volatile session. Right now, this is not our session. So yeah, we can do that when our session starts. Yeah, but that flopped. I can't lie to you, that actually did flop. Oh, Goldilocks. I want to see a massive drop from here, honestly. I want to see a nice drop from here. There we go. Starting to see some momentum kicking at this point now. As I said, guys, this level holds, I'm looking to execute. Until that happens, I'm calling it a day. If we clear this, I'm going to call it a day. But as you can see, we're starting to go back down again at this point now. It's starting to look good. If we can start clearing this, probability goes back to our favor. And then after that, next area we need to clear is all the way down there, right? So let's see. I might look to stack a one tiny position here if I see momentum kicking, honestly. Kind of like keeping stop losses above the current structure. Let's see how this candle plays out though. Looking to execute like one sell position here, guys, at this point now. If we can start closing below this. Let's start closing below this, start breaking this momentum. Executing on a sell position here, keeping stop losses above the structure at that point. Need to start breaking below this. There we go. This becomes your pullback candle now. This bullish candle should not engulf anything at this point now, because this is the area where buyers take control from. So at this point now, this is where you want this to turn into some sort of like pullback candle, not engulfing anything to the left, start breaking these lows at that point. Probability goes in our favor, and then the next area we're looking out for is that area, right? And our 1-2-1s can potentially get here after that. Okay, let's see now if we can clear these lows with momentum arm in this bad boy. I want to see momentum. This gets cleared with momentum. Stop loss above the current structure all the way up there. But let's see if it can happen. This is also your new 30-minute open as well, so keep that in your mind, right? Let's look at the 30-minute candle. It has the upper wick. It's a little bit tiny upper wick, but again, look at that second rejection at this point now. Again, the previous 30-minute candle could not break the highs as well. At this point now, honestly, if this starts breaking to the downside, you can really easily cash in on those sells. I want to see this. I'm going to execute on a sell position here if I see a nice break at this point now with momentum. But again, low risk position, guys. Low risk position. Because they can very easily flip, right? So I'm going in with low risk. I might stack in later on if I see more confirmations. Okay, I'm going to just take one position here. I'm going to take one. Oh, nice. Look at that drop. Wow, what a lovely drop, guys. Wow, look at this beast. Oh, look at this beast. What a nice position this was, man. Wow, look at that drop. At this point now, you don't want it to reject too much either, because look, at this point now, you have cleared the area, right? Let me show you guys another thing. Going to the 1 minute time frame at this point, look. Probability is on your side at this point now over here. At this point now, you want to see some sort of retest, but no engulfing bullish candles. Otherwise, it just shows you are still within that range, right? So my position is actually like all the way up here. So that's where my position is actually. Stop loss obviously above the current structure. And now you don't want to see any engulfing bullish candles. You can see those pullback candles, another massive engulfing candle, taking it all the way downtown, right? At this point now, look, probability is on our side. Look, this is where buyers took control from once, twice, and then obviously third time you got rejection as well. At this point, you close below this, so you're expecting those pullbacks, right? And pullbacks can be explosive, obviously, because you had such a nice move down, so you can correct this. But again, guys, you want to see what are we doing now? We're starting to form new lower lows and lower highs. Look at that. Broke out of it. And now there we go. As soon as we start breaking this, at that point, this is the next area of interest. We clear that area. Oh boy, the probability is on our side. Look at this. But you want this candle to start breaking all lows now and not come up anymore. Let's see where our 1-to-1s will be at this point. So the 1-to-1s are actually just as soon as we start breaking this, 1-to-1s will get hit. So ooh, look at this rocket ship. There we go. Let's go. Let's break this now. There we go, guys. Look at this beast, man. 10 pips up on this position at this point. Wow, what a beauty. What a beauty. Look at this rejection and break as well. At this point, again, you want to see this momentum kick in. At this point, honestly, even the corrections do make sense a little bit, but should be good to go. As long as we don't break above this, at that point, I'll look to manage risk. But yeah, I'm going to let it play out at this point. Let's look at the 30-minute candle quickly. Let's see if we have the bottom wick as well as the upper. Ooh, look at this, right? Have the upper wick as well. It's a little bit tiny. So potentially might want to come up to create some sort of deeper upper wick. But look at the momentum to the downside at this point, honestly. The momentum is so strong. We can at least come to like 18 or 3 before pushing all the way back up as well. So as soon as we start breaking these lows, we'll come in all the way to 18 or 3. That should be obviously where you secure profits, guys. Oh, watch this dump now, man. The way these candles are flipping. Watch this dump now. Watch this dump now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. As soon as we start breaking, oh, we're about to dump, I think. Look at this rejection candle. At this point, you want to see a nice bearish candle, kind of like this becomes your pullback candle. Break the lows of this. Nice drop down. There we go, guys. There we go. More than 13 pips up on my first position at this point now. Nice. 13 pips up at my first position at this point now. This is what patience does. Patience pays you, guys. Wow. Beautiful. 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 At this point now, next area, when we do break this area, the probability goes in our favor even more, right? Because look, now we're tapping into this area at this point now. From here, you can see those pullbacks, but if we start clearing this, start breaking these lows, probability is on your side even more. And I'm holding this at that point. I'm holding this now, honestly. I don't have any TPs. I'll make it risk-free once we start clearing these lows over here, but I'm holding this, honestly. But yeah, see, guys, at this point now, the 1-to-1s are almost being hit. Once your 1-to-1s are being hit, you want to secure something, at least a little bit of profits, right? So let me show you guys my entry as well quickly. As I said, I was waiting to stack up. Look, so this is my first entry is in 11 pips in profits, and then the second entry is just below this. That was my first entry, right? Technically. Oh, why is my TP all the way there? And watch the dump just kick in now. So look, small positions as well right now. I'm only up about $400, but yeah, look at the momentum just switch now. As soon as we start clearing 1805, we're gonna see such a nice drop, honestly. Maybe even 100 pips to the downside. Let's see. Just have to wait and let this play out. Look at this beast now, guys. Look at this beast, man. See how strong this formation was. Very strong, right? And this is when you have momentum as well. So yeah, let's quickly go back to the 30 minutes at this point now. I'm up 14 pips on my first position, by the way. 14 pips I'm up on my first position. Second position is literally just here, right? That was technically my first position. So this is the second position, which is all the way up here. So yeah, let's see. At this point, this is the only area that we're tapping now. From here, we can see some sort of pullbacks. But as soon as we can start clearing this area, I think we should be good to go down, man. This is the area where we can see bias to control from. This is where we got the rejection from. You can see this is the area we kind of technically did start to form higher highs from. So let's see. Again, let's ask a question now. Can this be again where momentum kicks into the top side? But if we clear this area at this point, again, more probability to our side, right? The edge goes on our side. You have to think of this in a sense of probability. So yeah, at this point, you form those double tops, triple top, fourth top, like is amazing rejections from the top side at this point now. And you're starting to form lower lows, right? So you want to understand one thing. Again, you're starting to tap this area where you can understand bias to control from recently, right? But if we can start clearing this at this point with momentum, again, probability goes on your side. So until probability is on your side, like nothing should scare you, right? the only way we can see now probability kind of like not being on our side is, look, over here, if we start to engulf this area here, because this was your rejection area, right? Kind of like start closing above this, the probability goes on the other side. And then after that, next thing you're looking for is obviously that's the main area at that point, right? So now if you start breaking that, again, the probability has switched and you don't want to be part of the setup no more. So there's a game of probability, you just got to play it that way. Got very nice break to the downside at the moment. So if we do pull back a little bit to this area, it shouldn't concern you. That's why my position's all the way up there actually. Literally like right here. So my position is literally all the way up here. So let's see what happens. Let's look at the 30 minutes. Why can the 30 minute be pushing up at this point now? Look at this.
Double bottom as well.
Yes. But honestly, that's the thing, right? At this point now, I don't mind it pushing up a little bit more just to create the upper wick. But at this point, honestly, look, if you break these lows again with momentum, that's even more probability on our side. So if we break these lows here, that's very nice move. So the current lows are right there. So at this point now, if price wants to push up, it shouldn't break these lows, right? So what business does it have breaking these lows? So let's see what happens in the next 3 minutes. Let's see what happens. Excited. Everything is in our favor right now though. The only reason I can see it pushing up is because of the upper wick. The upper wick is just a bit ridiculous. So you might want to push up a little bit more, start dropping from up here again. But that's the thing. Want to be extra careful over here. Let's see what happens anyway. Gotta just let it play out. The probability is still on our side. Gotta let your trades play out, guys. Gotta let them play out. As soon as it clears these lows though, this is like your current 30-minute lows at the moment. So keep that in your mind. At this point now, we formed a new low, right? Potentially a bottom wick to go up to create a new upper wick, right? So because you were expecting gold to be volatile, we expected it to not come back up to form the upper wick, but because it's not as volatile right now, it can do that, right? So now we do understand that when we do start breaking these lows over here, which is 1805, at that point you're going to see explosive move to the downside. But we understand that obviously buyers are sitting here, so if you're seeing some sort of pullback, it's not really a big deal, is it? For me, it's not. I wanted to decrease my position size, but then you said the probabilities are not. Oh my gosh. Guys, like, as I said, do not use me as a signal provider. I am not a signal provider. Let me mention that. This is education, not signals. Why is probability on our side? Look at the structure. Look at everything. What shows you that probability is not on our side? Right now, probability is on our side. Look at that. Where is the structure highest? All the way there. What are we doing? Forming new lows. Why are we getting a pullback? Because we understand that this is an area where buyers take control from usually. So that's why you're seeing that pullback, right? Which is expected. But as I said, until we break this area and kind of like break out of this, the probability is on our side. But when we do break out of this, you can look to manage your risk if you want to manage your risk. But yeah, right now, this is just a pullback. Should a pullback scare you? No. Price needs to pull back. It needs to crack some of it back, because you gotta understand, how does price move? Price moves in waves. So it's gonna move the leg back up and then potentially push down if it wants to push down, right? That's how price moves. It moves in waves. So is the probabilities on our side? Yes, probability is on our side right now. But if you start clearing these highs at this point now, you can understand like, okay, you did get rejection at this point from here as well, which I did say would happen, right? So now look, this area is holding and that's the next leg down now. So if you break these lows again, guess what? There is more probability on our side. Next area that we're looking for is all the way down there. When you break those lows, you have even more probability on your side, right? That's the thing. Guys, by the way, can you hear the Hoover playing in the background? Can you hear that? All right, let me just turn that off then.
Well done, Kay. 。 .
All
。
right,
。 .
1 minute. 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 1
Where was your first one? Sweet.
Okay, the Hoover is done because I don't want to leave this right now and go tell them not to Hoover. So we just wanted to wait for it to be over. So at this point, look, again, is the probability on our side right now? Most definitely. We're holding, this area is holding. Potentially, what can we do now? Maybe have a second retest up here? Potentially. That's a question we're asking, right? Don't worry, guys. My big lot is only 0.05. He's trolling us. That's what he's doing. He's trolling us. Yeah, I have small lots open and it's like 4 lots, 6 lots altogether, 5 pips. So look, again, is the probability on your side right now? Most definitely it's on your side. Yeah, you were expecting a pullback from there, but look how the pullback was, right? It didn't kind of like break the structure highs, it just started to reject from here. So potentially we know that we can get a second rejection from there as well and then drop, or otherwise as soon as we break these lows here, look, now we're gonna form another lows below these, right? Below these lows we're gonna form another low. So let's see what happens. 1 second. You know what, guys, today is a special day on YouTube live stream because we are in these trades and we did obviously take them on the YouTube live stream, so we'll just let them play. My stop loss is in profit, maybe too fast, but it's all good. That's perfect, right? Is way too late into the session. But at this point, 110%, guys, like 200%, I'm not looking to execute on any more positions. Just gonna let these ones play out. That's a buy. Simple as that. I'm not looking to execute on anything else because it's still so rangy. But we do understand that obviously the next hour that's approaching, that's when you usually see those explosive moves as well. So yeah, that might be it. But more than definitely, if you guys are expecting me to enter any more positions, I'm not looking to do that. These both positions are the ones I'm going to let them play out. That's it. These 2 positions, that's it. You know what? I just want to see those 100 pips today for the sake of it. I'm gonna make a Insta highlights. 100 pips to the downside. Look at that. I didn't even secure anything. I held it. I held it for 100 pips. It's
Why
coming.
not?
It's coming. It's
Why
coming.
not?
Just it's coming. Look again,
Yeah.
guys. The probability is on our side still. That's the thing, right? It's on our side. This is also a key area as well. Keep that in your mind. This is a key area that will form you a double top on. At this point, this is not even a double top. This is a triple, quadruple top, man. Forget a double top. This is a quadruple top. It means it's double the times stronger, right? 2
Double
times stronger.
top squared.
Yeah, squared. Definitely.
I like that.
See, that's what happens when Ange and trading meets. Yeah, something very small. Why is gold so choppy though? Again, my gosh. But look at that though, guys. Like literally, the only good positions, in my opinion, were these sell positions. Other than that, what could you have taken? Were you expecting to hold this for 100 of pips? You were not gonna get that. You would have gotten stopped up by now. So technically, the whole session, as soon as like the session started, the only position were those sell positions, right?
If I was gonna buy, it would have been at 130.
Yeah, if I was gonna buy, it would not be anywhere up here. It will have to be all the way down there as well. Most definitely, all the way down there. And one buy position at 130. Are you talking about this one here?
If you go to the left,
Oh, 130. Oh, 130. My bad. So
here.
this buy position here.
Yeah.
Keeping the stop loss below
From
this.
there. Yeah.
Or from there.
No. Here. Stop loss here. But I have to be aware about this.
Yeah, this would have stopped you out though. Yeah,
No.
Where would you have taken the buy position? This candle here.
Here. Do you not see my drawing?
Oh yeah, here. All I see is those lines. That's it. No errors. Okay, so you would have taken a buy position here. Stop loss below this.
Just because it came from a double bottom. Yeah.
Kind of like breaking
I
out
have to be wary about the double top here.
Yeah, no. That's the thing. The double top over here. At that point, also this was all-time highs as well. You gotta keep that. Oh, look at that! Look at the sell position again. Starting to work out. Hopefully, let's see if we can form new lows at this point. Now, again, guys, we got the new hour approaching in next 8 minutes. So let's see what happens. Again, consolidation. But look, at this point now, you're consolidating below this consolidation. So you are forming new lows and low highs at this point, right? So look, again, let's see if we can break these lows at this point. So the probability goes in our way even more, right? And yes, I did like someone's... Mondays are usually is 50-50. So someone said, like, obviously, like, it's a game of probability. There are no guarantees. Whoever did say that, someone said the keyword is probability. There is no guarantee. Just don't open big lots. Trading becomes much easier. That's the thing, guys. As soon as you actually like change your mindset to like it's a game of probability, not a game of like absolute surety. Like you can't be sure all the time, right? At that point, your trading just changes. At that point, you're just seeing like, is the probability on your side right now? More than definitely the probability is on our side right now. So what can kind of like cloud my judgment to make me think that the probability is not on my side when it is? Oh, that's big lots, right? Because at that point, my emotions come into the play. But until then, my emotions are not in the play. I can see everything so clearly, right? And then look, again, it's starting to break the lows again. That means the probability is on our side even more now. It's a game of probability, right? So now when can you see more momentum kick in the next hour, in the next 7 minutes? So let's see what happens. Someone's listening to that music. My gosh, gold is so choppy. But I mean, like, this is not advice either, but this is usually what I would do, right? If you guys are in any sort of positions now, like if it was me, I would just let them play out. But would I take any more positions? Oh no chance. Like absolutely no chance whatsoever. After all of this mess, I would not take any more. I mean, it really depends as well, like, when you did start trading, because this might be the session when you start trading. So if you do trade, like, usually with us, I would not take any more positions if it was me, right? But if your session just started now, and this is like when you start looking for your positions, then yeah, more than welcome to do that. Absolutely. I just want to keep the live stream going so we can see those 100 pip counters. It's coming. I'm telling you guys, as soon as we break these lows now, it's coming. The 100 pips to the downside are coming. The next hour is just going to down, straight to money. let's go, let's go. Goldilocks, let's go. We need to break this low over here. At that point we should be good to go, but look at that, the formation now is kind of like you're forming new lows, lower lows and lower highs at this point now. As soon as we start breaking these lows, it should come down to this. This should not become the rejection area, clear this area at that point, going all the way down to this area where we did see the last sort of momentum kick in to the top side, right? And as soon as we clear this, I have a lot of confidence in this trade, right? So let's see what happens now. Just got another 4 minutes left as well for the new hourly to open. So at that point we should see where price wants to head, right? At this point, look, even with the new hourly open, if it wants to break these highs, right, it's technically not violating the structure highs, which are all the way up there. And look, the hourly open is going to be very volatile. So would I look to manage risk here? No, because both of my positions open. If they do get hit, I'll probably lose about around 9. Yeah, just about 1%. So I don't mind letting these two positions play out, even if it goes straight to the stop loss, right? Let's say if now I had 2% risk on the line, I would definitely look to manage risk above here. But I do want to give it more space to breathe. You can see very, very heavy rejections from the top side over here, right? A lot of rejections from the top side. You actually have more rejections from the top side than the downside, right? So this just works in our favor. These are all the confluences that we're looking for. And look at that, the rejections started to like become lows, lower lows. Look at this point now, you formed that new leg down. This point now, you're starting to reject from an area that's actually below this area right here. So everything's in our favor. It's just waiting for the momentum to kick in. So I'm really not fussy about this, so I'll just let this play out. But at this point, look, now when you're in a trade, right, your mindset switches from like looking for the trade to managing the risk and managing your positions. At this point now, you're looking to see, okay, how can you manage this better? Maybe with the next hourly opening, you're going to let it go up a little bit, give it more room to breathe, because you understand that, you know, you've taken a higher probability setup, but there are no guarantees it can stop you out. So are you willing to accept the full loss? For me, yes, I am, because I'm not risking about 2% on this. But now I understand that if it pushes down all the way where I have, like, you know, my 1-to-1 being here, at that point I want to secure some profits, and the rest I want to let it run all the way to the daily lows at least, right? Because I know it needs to create the bottom wick. So the safe bet will be for me to secure everything at the daily lows, which are, let me just quickly go on the other charts, it's much more cleaner. So the daily lows are actually all the way down here, right? So do I want to see a new bottom wick being created? No, I'm not expecting a new bottom wick. I just want to see the lows get tested, right? At that point, because now there won't be much volatility. At that point, you're not expecting the daily lows to get broken. You just want to see them get retested. So something like, you know, obviously 17.97 on the safe side, or 17.92, obviously the exact lows. That's kind of like what the target is. So even to like 96, that'll be about 100 pips. So yeah, I got run. Have a good one, guys. See you tomorrow, brother. See you tomorrow. Have a great day. These sales are gonna play out today, that's for sure though. Those daily lows will get retested. Another 2 minutes left. Let's see if we can get some sort of momentum kicking in the next 2 minutes. Let's see what happens. I love the fact that we still have 19 people watching. So that means 19 people are in this trade with us. Guys on YouTube, are you guys in this trade as well? In this setup over here with us? Are you in this sell setup as well? Because all the confirmations are suggesting that we are going down, right? But yeah. But we do understand how trading works, and if it wants to push back up, obviously it is what it is, right? By this point, we are within this consolidation, potentially with the new hourly opening. If we can see a nice double top over here forming, that'll be very nice. But let's say if we do start clearing this area, at that point we do understand that it can potentially come all the way to the top side of the range, where we do have a daily area as well. But keep one thing in mind, this is also a rejection from a daily area. So as soon as the momentum kicks in, this rejection over here will become very explosive, but it might want to go up just to retest it for the second time, right? That's why, look, I have a really nice entry over here. I'm still in profits on that entry. Second entry is not in profits right now, but it's very close to being in profits as well, right? It's not in much of a drawdown right now. So let's say this is the new hourly open. Can we see gold starting to sink at this point now? I guess let's see. It needs to obviously create the upper wick right now. Let's quickly look at the 30-minute candle, start to investigate what the candle's looking like. Okay, so what we would like to see is like obviously the upper wick kind of like go up to the consolidation on the minute time frame and start to form a rejection from up here potentially from 1808. Can this area be the area where sellers can take control from and then just dump gold down all the way to our TP? All the way to daily lows? Can we see the dump coming now? Potentially we did see the dump come across this time, I think on a Friday, right? Let's see, what time did the dump start on a Friday? Let's quickly see. It was on 4 o'clock, was it not? There we go, exact same time. So this is when the 4 o'clock opened, create the upper wick, and look at that, gold just started to dump very nicely, right? So there we go. History always does repeat itself when it comes to trading. Price always repeats itself. So maybe can we see the repetition today? Let's see what happens. We do understand that there is no upper wick at the moment, so it can potentially push up a little bit more, but if it is very volatile right now, it's just gonna sink all the way down. So potentially last bit of rejection will be this, but look, now if the current 30-minute lows do get violated again, the probability is on our side, as we did mention earlier, right? So there we go. Alright, so I do have a position here though. It's the same position, but the entry is right here, right? My first position technically, and kind of like aiming for this support area first, because it needs to grab liquidity, so it'll break at least first sort of structure, that's for sure. But let's see what happens now. Can we start clearing this with a lot of momentum? If we start clearing this with a lot of momentum, I can expect a nice dump, man, at least to like 1803. Get the first bit of dump down, and there we go. Okay, my second position's in profits as well now. Both positions are in profit at the moment. Let's quickly go back and look. Let's see, have we violated the structure of the minute time frame at this point now? Have we formed a new low? And yes, we have just about done that. So look, it's very close to forming a new low now. Again, see, probabilities on our side at this point now. As soon as it forms a new low, at that point you can say, look, this was the area where we got the explosive move down from was, right? So yeah, see, this is what happens when the probability is on your side. Eventually, whenever the momentum kicks in, it will play out. But right now, we do understand this was the area where we did get the explosive push up from was. So at this point, now we start breaking these lows. That's more probability on our side. The edge is in our favor, right? So let's see what happens. We might be seeing a nice dump on gold coming up just now. And there we go, we're starting to break the lows at this point now. Can we close below this? At this point now, if we do close below this, there we go. This is the probability on our side. As I said, wavy structure, creating highs. At this point now, we're going to start forming new lows, right? But we need to see a nice close below this. At that point, next area of interest is obviously this area right here. So potentially from 1805, yeah, 1805, that would be the next area of interest. At the moment, we do understand there's another thing in the equation, which is an upper wick, which needs to be formed. So at this point now, if there is a lot of momentum, that would be taken out of the equation, right? So yeah, let's see what happens. At this point now, look, this is a pullback candle. If this candle can get off the previous candle, we're gonna see a very nice drop to the downside. There we go. Wow, look at this beast now, guys. See, probability. Just let it play out. We're just gonna let it play out at this point now. Let it do its thing. Wow, look at this dump now. 1-to-1s are literally down there, so the 1-to-1s will get hit. When the 1-to-1s do get hit, everything should be secured or risk-free at least. But look at both of my positions are in like deep profits now as well. Just need the last bit of push below this, honestly. But look at the beauty of this position, right? So until I actually, wow, look at this, guys. Look at this drop now. Look at this beauty. There we go. That's what we like to see. There we go. Look at this now. It's going to start dumping nicely now. See, patience pays. That's why patience is the key. It's the game of probabilities. If the probabilities are stacked up on your side, you should not be scared. You should be, okay, at this point now, we're approaching this area. This is where you can expect those pullbacks from. But if we clear this with momentum, at that point, last bit of area that I do have is this rejection area where we did reject from, right? But if we can start clearing this, man, the probability is on our side. So these two sides, obviously you can expect a pullback from here. which price is doing now, right? Is pulling back because we understand the buyers are sitting here. Buying orders will start being executed at this point now. So yeah, this is the area where we did kind of have that massive pull up from, right? So yeah, let's see. But now at this point now, as soon as we can start breaking these lows, start clearing like 1805 as well, at that point we should be good to go down. Until then, as I said, there is one thing in the equation, which is the upper wick in the 30 minutes. So let's see how it plays out. See literally how precise this area was as well. Massive, massive rejection from this area. Because look, buyers are sitting right there. Look, this is where you got the explosive push up from was. This is where the buyers are sitting. And I think it was around 4 or 6 when the momentum kicks in with the 4 o'clock, right? If we quickly go back to the left, let's see what time it was when the momentum kicked in. So look. Okay, so let's actually see what's happened, right? So this was the 4 o'clock opening, and then when did we see the drop? It was actually seen around 4:08. So in the next 2 minutes, that's when it started to dump. So look, first we got the pullback, and then obviously the next so the current minute candle and the next minute candle actually pulled all the way back up, and then it just started to dump. So let's see if we can see something like that play out today as well. Same thing, literally like to the T is happening right now. Nice leg down, pull back, and then maybe 6 or 8 next 2 minutes we're gonna start dumping. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see. Are we gonna see history repeat itself? I took 9 pip scalps earlier. Good work, bro. Great analysis, mate. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, honestly, your 1-to-1s should be secured by now if your stop losses were above. If they are up there, the 1-to-1s are down here a little bit. But for me, I'm kind of like holding this. So I'm not looking to secure the 1-to-1s. I have low risk positions. Kind of like looking to aim for those daily lows. That's the thing. But again, we want to see those confirmations at the moment. Let's look at the 30 minutes. Because as I said, there is something in the equation, right? Look at that. We have the upper wick at this point now as well. So let's see what happens. Now, you don't want to see any sort of massive bullish candles printing after like printing this upper wick, right? At that point, it's coming all the way to the top side. Potentially to like 1807. Because look, this is where the rejection was from. 1807 to 1808. So let's see what happens. Because you do have an upper wick at this point now as well. So this is usually when gold dumped on a Friday. This minute candle, can we see the same thing happening? This minute candle will start forming some sort of double top formation just up here, and then from there a massive dump kicks in. This is it. But now if we do start clearing out of this, guys, at this point now is very late into the session. I might be looking to manage some risk. Let's see what happens, right? But this is where you should start seeing much more momentum kick into the downside. But look, again, forming new lows, right? See that, right? Close below this, formed a new low. Again, we did expect some sort of push up from this area. That's exactly what happened, because they had to create the upper wick, and it's not really as volatile as our session, so it's going to move in more of a sustainable way. But can we see gold dumping now, though? That would be very interesting to see. Okay, let's see what this 4 hour does. Still respecting the area. Have the upper wick at this point now as well. So if we see a massive explosive breakout of this, I'll close another half. I mean, I'll close half, not another half, because I haven't closed the half yet. But at this point, this area should not break. This should be the area where we should start rejecting from all the way to the downside. Something like this, right? Zoom. Can we see this happening now? Ooh, look at that. Wow, something like this now needs to happen. Needs to happen now. There we go. This candle is going to be the one, guys. This is the one. This candle is about to break all lows. Say it with me. That's it. This candle is about to break all lows right now. This candle is the one, guys. This is the same candle that we saw on Friday, honestly. This is the same candle that we saw on Friday. Literally the same candle that we saw on Friday. So
The buyers went to lunch.
look at that. We have there was one thing in the equation, right, which was the upper wick, right? So we have the upper wick on the 30 minutes as well now, so that's taken out of the equation. At this point, buyers have we have no business like breaking these highs. You do not want to see buyers take control at this point. You just want to see nice clean candles to the downside, literally just like going all the way to the daily lows, and you should start breaking these lows again, kind of like, so this was like, now again your leg down, right? So now you're expecting another leg back up, which obviously we just created. Now you're expecting another leg down to potentially the next area of interest, which is right there, right? And then from there potentially can get a leg back up, but if there's a lot of momentum to the downside, at that point you're not going to see a leg back up just now. You're going to see another push down, and then after maybe a leg back up. So let's see what happens. Let's go. But you don't want to see any massive engulfing bullish candles at this point now, though. Otherwise you're just coming all the way back up to the highs of the range, and it's too late into the session for me to keep on holding this. That would be ridiculous, right? I might take out one position, which is like, down here, if we start breaking these highs of the range. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move the stop loss. So I'm going to make the stop loss a bit tighter at this point now, right? For the position that's all the way down there. So one of my stop losses have actually been pushed above this structure at this point now. So the position that I have obviously down here, right? But the other one, I'm keeping the stop loss at its original entry. So let's see how it plays out. And if we do break these lows over here, at that point I'll push the other stop loss above this as well, kind of like make it tighter at this point, because there's no business breaking above these highs at this point. Now this should hold whatsoever, should not break. If we're gonna push down, it should not break. $18.05, it's so strong. Level, break the damn lows, please. Everyone says, break the damn lows. Have to run, enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, Alex, take
All
care.
right, take care, Alex. Take care, brother. Have a lovely one. Someone on YouTube live stream said, break the damn lows. Hey, either is going to break the lows or the highs, right? Either way, we have to be prepared. More than definitely, though, if it does start breaking these highs over here, like, what's the logical thing price is doing is the next logical area, which is all the way up there. Do I really want to hold my position, which is all the way from down there? No, I'm taking out one of my positions. Oh, right there. Let me push that back. Look, at this point now, I'm willing to accept a loss, right? Because I understand how price is moving. So if it's struggling to form new lower lows and lower highs, am I really going to fight it? No way. So at this point now, cool, I'll keep one of my positions open, so the entry is all the way up here, right? So it makes sense for me to keep that open. But the one with the entry all the way down here, so it's literally just below this wick, right? I'm just going to make it a little bit tighter. Yeah, the entry is like literally below this wick. So let me show you. This is where the entry is, and I've pushed the stop loss just above this structure at this point now, kind of like, yeah. Let's see if we can take this all the way down as well to at least to 18.02 first. So yeah, but look, at this point now it's very late into the session. If it wants to come up, do a deeper retest, I'll leave this position open because the entry is better, but this one I'll take, yeah. Because I don't have to worry about managing this position, right? All I have to worry about is either if it stops me out, it is what it is. But if it goes into profits, I can just trail the stop loss. But when you have two positions open, it becomes a bit tricky, right? That's the thing. But now, again, we're playing a game of probability. If it breaks these highs, the probability goes on the other side, not on our side, right? So I'll take a one position if the probability goes on the other side. Simple as that, guys. Yeah, that's great. Man, gold is so rangy though, honestly. No, leave the stop loss at 18, 13. We are good to melt to the lows. I know we are good to melt to the lows, guys, but again, it's a game of probability. At this point, I kind of want to lower down my risk again. I'm willing to accept a loss on this position because, look, I'm not risking 2% on this position, neither am I risking 2% on that position. Both of the positions are about 0.5%. So at this point now, if this gets hit, I'm losing 0.25%. So half of 0.5%, right? And then if this gets hit, I'm losing 0.5%. So at this point, I've lowered down my risk even a little bit more because it's very late into the session. It's not my session. I would most definitely not take a trade here. So at this point now, what business does price have creating new highs unless it wants to come all the way to the top side of the range and potentially even break the range and then kind of turn this into a pullback, right? Because we do understand what happened last time when price approached this level, such a massive push up all the way to the top side of the range. So it can be playing out again. Do I want to be still within this position and go all the way back in being into a drawdown? No way. I'm not interested in that. Guys, can you hear the noises in the background, by the way? Is it very loud?
It's not bad.
Okay. Because you know what, I also understand myself as a trader. Usually around this time, I start feeling like I don't want to hold any more trades anymore. So, yeah, man, these stuff.
Don't do that. Come back.
Yeah, at this point, look, honestly, it's just gold is pushing up and up and up. So if it doesn't hold around here, I'm taking up one position, that's for sure though. Second one, again, it becomes a bit tricky if I want to leave the second one open. The entry is good. That's the thing for the second position. So yeah, let's see what happens anyway. My stop loss hit on second trade. Oh, your stop loss was here? Yeah, my stop loss is just above here, so it's about to be here as well. As soon as we break out of this range, I'm taking out one of my positions. So this position I'm going to take out now if we close above this range, honestly. I'm going to give it a little bit more room to breathe, just to reject from here. But if we start clearing this, I'm taking out this position. Let's see how this closes. If it rejects, good. If it closes above this area, taking out this position. Because as I said, it's coming all the way to the top side at that point. And there's just no volatility in the markets, guys. Gold is just not... The price action is just not good today whatsoever. But again, yeah, there's literally nothing today, man. It's just like, again, I think it's because we're approaching the end of this year. That's usually how it gets, man. It gets very, very choppy, right? Yeah. It's the last 3 months, basically. It's gonna start probably picking up around Feb, the momentum. See, this candle just rejected at this point now. So now price should not break these highs. If it does break these highs, I'm taking out this position. So my position is literally above these current highs right now. Made it a little bit more tighter. Did want to give it a little bit more room to breathe, just in case, you know, it does something like this, which it did, right? Because it might just be grabbing liquidity to start dumping all the way down. But at this point now, if we break these highs, I'm taking out the position. So I made it very tight at this point now, the position. I might even make my second position tight at this point, guys. Just kind of like call it a day. Because I really don't like holding positions, man. Really not a big fan of holding positions. So the most sensible thing I can do is kind of like just make it risk free at this point. But then that way I'm kind of like taking away from my trade though. If I was to close my second position as well. Because it's literally in 2 pips drawdown right now. That's the thing. So this should become the rejection area at this point. Honestly, should hold. You don't want to see this turn into some sort of pullback area, right? Should be the retest, rejection, massive drop at this point now. At this point, if honestly I see like a massive bearish candle kick in, engulfing everything to the left, I'm gonna also make the second position a bit tighter. But you wanna see engulfing bearish candles kick in now, and it just starts dumping at this point. That's what you wanna see. You wanna see the reversal from now, this point not. I think price will continue up to retest 1813. I mean, it should respect this area. It shouldn't go up more now. We've had enough retest up here. Should just do a double retest here because it didn't do that previously. So it's just becoming your double top at this point now. And at this point, you should just start dumping and create a new leg down. But yeah, if it does break these highs at that point, yeah, potentially coming up, right? At least to like 1809. Well, this area should really hold, and you should see a lot of momentum kick into the downside from this area. So as soon as it starts breaking these lows, I think we should be good to go straight to our TP at this point. There we go. Nice. Amazing. Amazing. Beautiful. At this point now, I'm putting my stop losses above this for both of the positions actually. Yeah, I don't even want to hold this trade no more. Both of the stop losses are above. No. Literally right here. So now at this point now, look at the risk to reward on this position if it works, alright? There we go. Can we see the dump now? Okay guys, this might be it. What do you guys think? Is this a pullback or are we about to dump to create a new leg down at this point? Kind of forming a double top up here as well. All the confirmations are on our side as well right now. It just needs more momentum. We did get momentum here, kick in, look, engulfing everything to the left. This is like your classic signal to kind of like stop pushing down or up, right? But you just want more momentum to kick in and just start clearing everything. But I would not really want to see these highs get cleared at this point now, so that's why I've put my stop loss above this. Made my stop loss very tight at this point. Very, very tight.
Yeah. Oh, 1805. Let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Because at this point I feel even better because I know like I'm not going to be dragged into this trade for like hours now, because as soon as it breaks these highs it's going to stop me or it's going to go to my TP, right? So at this point I feel more comfortable being within this trade, because like the whole factor of me actually like looking at this trade is back. Otherwise it's just like, oh, it's gonna break this, it's gonna come up. That's when I have to stop paying attention. So now if it breaks these highs, I know I'm taking it out. That's it, simple as that. It is what it is. Honestly, I ain't even gonna hold this trade. I have no interest in holding this trade if it doesn't break the lows now. At that point, look, you're respecting this area to push back up, right? So zero interest in holding this trade. I'm gonna manage my risk. Man, very choppy price action, you know. Look at this. Gold has literally done nothing so far, has it? Where's our session? 130. Literally right there.
Oh my god. 70 pips. What?
Yeah, but look at the choppiness though. How can you trade within this? Look, understand, yeah, it's 70 pips, but look how big the consolidation was first. So that's 28 pips. 30 pips is the actually, yeah, my bad, 30 pips. And then another consolidation for 10 pips. And then after break of that consolidation, you got that 35 pip move. And then again, it turned out to be a consolidation. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It wants to stop me out, but it doesn't want to.
Yeah, but I've moved both of my stop losses above
Yeah,
this as
mine
well.
as well.
It can definitely come up and start dropping. I don't want to be part of it. It's too late into the session. Just not a big fan of it. Because this was your first attempt to break down. Again, forming a double top here now. Double bottom, my bad. So really don't want to be part of this at this point. I can still see the cells playing out, but it's just not now, man. It might just not do anything at this point now because yeah, it's rangy again.
Brains barely hanging on.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at the price action, guys. Look what the price action has been. This is clean price action. Look at that. Clean moves down. Clean move up. Clean move down. Look what we got. How is this clean? Consolidation. Yeah, technically it's in an uptrend. Everyone can see that, but it's not tradable price action whatsoever. Yeah, at this point, honestly, I'm going to take up both of the positions, just call it a day. After that, I guess, let's go over our session and see what we could have done better. Because I don't see anything, honestly, that we could have done better other than executing here. Yeah, I'm going to take out these positions. My stop loss is literally 2 pips away from being stopped out. Yeah, I'm stopped out, one position stopped out, second stopped out as well. I've been taken out as well.
Minus 0.8 today. That's great.
Yeah, same. I lost less than 1%, I think. Yeah, I lost literally less than 1% today as well. Great day. Great start to the week, actually. Didn't even lose 1% on a Monday. We did not even lose 1% on a Monday within this choppiness, man.
I'm gonna leave now.
Okay, well done.
Okay, amazing. Everyone on YouTube as well, guys. Anyway, ciao to you. Take it. Anyway, everyone on YouTube, if you guys are holding this all the way up there and you're comfortable with that, good luck with this. Most definitely it can play out. But for us, we're scalpers. We're not intraday traders. Something like that's not comfortable for us. For us to hold this is just choppy price action. There's nothing you can do within this. If you want to go ahead and execute a buy position, it could have been right there, but we were in a sell position. It doesn't make sense to even take a buy position, but a nice buy position did show up here. But again, this was after our session. Again, the 1-2-1s would not have been hit just yet. They would have been top side of the range. So yeah, guys, see you guys tomorrow. We'll be back again. Lost less than 1%. Excellent day. Amazing day, actually. And we're going to go over our session now with my team. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, hit me up on Insta. And peace. Catch up with you guys tomorrow.